WPC
好的，各位欢迎回来。你现在收看的是 New。
Welcome everybody to the Game 2 of DK vs IG Grand Final for the WPC. That intro completely threw me off. I'm Gods from Beyond the Summit. Joining me is Basekip. How you doing, Basekip? Game 2 coming up soon. Alright. You're out. You're back in. I just, sorry, I forgot to unmute you. You're back now.
Okay, now I'm back, so I'll just repeat, I guess. I'm excited. I'm good to go. Let's get ourselves underway with what is hopefully going to be some more awesome Dota. That game 1, a little bit weird from DK here and there. I saw some people criticizing Mushi's performance on Tidehunter a little bit, which I think is fair, but it was also a very difficult game. DK put themselves in a position where to break high ground, they were pushing into the triple BKB from IG, and that was just really, really difficult. But IG, now they've got a lot of momentum at their backs. I mean, we talked about it at the end of the series coming in, series yesterday, saying that, look, for IG, they're a pretty momentum-based team. They're very emotionally charged, especially with Chuan. And I think winning game 1 is going to be a really big thing for them moving forward. Not a huge deal as far as the overall series is concerned. It's still, of course, a best of 7, but I think they're definitely going to be feeling in pretty good spirits, especially winning that game after how it started, which was, I mean, we called it a disaster, and I think it was exactly that, with that triple kill going to the Ember Spirit in the tri-lane versus tri-lane.
Yeah, from there, DK just had all 3 lanes in lock, but it just did not work out as well as they had planned. So, game 1, DK were willing to give away a Lycan and try and beat it. It failed. Game 2, they're like, well, we don't want to give away a Lycan again. Let's give away the Batrider. So we're going to get a YYF Batrider. To me, one of, if not his best hero. It's still something you can kind of play around, and DK immediately respond. We'll see exactly what it's going to be in a second, as I quickly recall that I'm not meant to be watching the stream. Let's watch the... Oh, I'm meant to be watching the stream. I'm not meant to be watching the
spoilerinos, Gods.
No, we're good. Chuan's there, just twirling his iPod. Chuan's always twirling his headphones. He's looking happy for once.
Yeah, he's in the game. He's ready. He's thinking. He's giving his input. And I think IG are going to be pretty happy grabbing the Batrider overall. Again, it is a hero that people are becoming more familiar with dealing with, but still definitely very strong. And the response from DK is going to be Invoker and Shadow Demon. I kind of like this from IG, because DK, whenever they run the Invoker, it's always Ice Invoker, and that always requires lanes being shuffled around a little bit. And as we saw in the last game, I mean, Mushi did fine, but the offlane is definitely not his most comfortable role. So IG feel that there's something maybe to exploit there in terms of, okay, look, DK have to do something that they don't do in every single game, just to take advantage of this powerful pick, which is to their detriment, honestly.
And it's just Mushi playing a different style initiator that I think puts him not just the offlane out of his comfort zone, but playing a hero like Tide, whose timing is so important when you initiate in. I mean, Mushi obviously playing a lot of mid initiators, but Tide's quite a different beast in some ways. So he definitely looked nervous. I mean, couldn't tell if he was nervous, but his play definitely did not look the most comfortable. So IG, yeah, I think part of their plan is happily give away the Invoker, put ice onto that, force Mushi into the offlane, and we'll get ourselves in the game 2 with IG executing the same thing. They haven't picked up their second hero just yet to go with the Batrider, but IG, I think, going to be pretty happy with this opening.
Yeah, definitely. And so now DK have to start thinking, what is the overall plan going to be? I think IG probably consider maybe still just banning out the Chen in the second round, just because the one thing that we have talked about a little bit as far as the Batrider is concerned, it is he can be a little bit vulnerable to 5-manning, especially if DK can get some really early 5-man going. And, you know, we could even see something like a mech Invoker to that end, or, you know, still Quaswex Invoker as a possibility, though the recent trend has been pretty much just Quas Eggsword and pretty much always buying Midas. Though we'll see. Maybe DK will break the mold a little bit, and that'll be something that catches IG off guard. And IG, they take some time to consider, and they do end up taking the Mirana for themselves. So they kind of save themselves a ban, because I don't think they wanted to give that over to DK when they have the Shadow Demon, and also I don't think a bad hero for them to have here overall either. If they can get any kind of setup for the mid lane, they could run a support Mirana and just keep lobbing arrows the way of Ice Ice Ice. And like we've talked about at length, the Mirana keeps their draft open fairly nicely.
Yeah, it's very flexible pick. They can run it as a support even if they want to. They've done that a few times around, so it doesn't reveal really much at all about what IG have planned with this pick. So DK is still going to be left guessing. There is a Centaur ban to start things off by IG. Everyone will remember Starlighter, where the Centaur plus Invoker just wreaked havoc over teams left, right, and center. And it's one of those things where I feel DK are definitely... It's almost like a mental thing when they're versing IG. Sure, their track record against IG is great, but they always say, like, IG's the one team we don't really want to verse in tournaments. They were most scared of IG at Starlighter. They weren't worried about versing the Western teams there as much. Like, they were just like, we feel confident against them, but IG, for some reason, just gets the best of DK. Maybe it's just from some of their scrim results, but the actual match record shows that DK has matched up well against IG. Well, I mean, some of those series being very close. Like, you look at last WPC where it was the 3-0 comeback into a 4-3. IG then beat them in ECL a bit later, but for whatever reason, DK, something about them, they just don't like versing IG.
Yeah, and I don't know what it could be. I don't feel like there's anything in particular about IG's playstyle that really, counters DK or anything like that. I guess it's just their experience playing against them, and maybe IG have figured him out the best out of anyone. And that is something for DK that has been a massive strength as a team. Individual play, of course, is obviously very, very high among all 5 of their players, but also just flexibility in drafting and catching people off guard a little bit here and there is how they get a lot of their wins, and it doesn't really seem to happen so much against IG. Speaking of the draft again, I think one thing that DK can maybe keep available as an option is they could look to put together a bit of an aggressive tri-lane with the Shadow Demon being the beginning of it, and then they could maybe look to run Quasi-Exit Invoker, get him a reasonable 1v1 matchup, keep the supports pinned up on top lane, and then all they would need to find is somebody that can solo against the Batrider reasonably, of which there are a few heroes. I think recently I've actually seen... I don't know if Mushi wants to play Tide again, but Tide actually does quite well 1v1 against Bat. But DK actually ended up going for a Slark.
Yeah.
Okay.
We saw a bit of Slark here and there, and it's obviously matches up decently against Batrider with the Dark Pact, and just once you hit level 6, you have all that HP regen to play around with as well. So it's something that DK are going to try their hand at. I have not seen DK run the Slark really at all, or maybe like 1 or 2 games here or there, but I do not recall any DK Slark games.
Yeah, to me it doesn't stand out as a DK pick, even among their more interesting strategies. So we'll see how it does. Like you mentioned, it is pretty good against the Batrider. Don't know if they're going to be looking to set up a 1v1 at all, and maybe still looking for the aggressive option. And like you said, we have been seeing more Slark recently. Blink Slark has been also very popular. I'm a fan of the build in the right situation. And the Slark is also quite nice against the Mirana, especially if it's going to be a core Mirana. It's a hero that can just... Slark can get his core farm up and just spend the entire game running around looking to kill the bottom. And then also, if it's a Quasi-Exit Invoker, the Pounce makes for a pretty good Sunstrike setup. So I think it's a pretty good hero here for DK, though we'll see how it goes, especially since, as we mentioned, it doesn't really stand out to us as something that anybody on DK really plays all that much.
Well, 4th pick coming up now for DK, and Slark kind of flexible with the lanes as well to some extent. Like, at least in the past, has been run as a mid, an offlaner, or even a carry. I think most likely, and its most common role, is that safe lane farming, but we'll see exactly where DK want to send this here. Lich picked up by IG, and that's kind of your lane controller. You can put Lich to deny XP from the Invoker mid to help out the offlane. Very rarely will Lich actually support the safe lane, just because he doesn't really actually have much lane control or zoning potential. Like, you can pull the wave back and all, but generally your other support, you want kind of like a more aggressive support to zone out the enemy offlaner. So Lich, one of the few heroes who can actually help out the mid or the offlane as a support early on.
Yeah, and DK, they see the Lich pick, they think, okay, look, there's still an opportunity to exploit the denies and whatnot with a bit of push here, so they are going to go for the Chen. I mentioned it as a potential ban for IG with DK getting the Shadow Demon in the first round, but instead they were choosing to focus on offlanes. So he's going to be able to sneak through. But that pretty much, I think, that more or less sets DK's lanes. We could even just maybe see early roaming out of the Shadow Demon and the Chen, and that's where the Slark is going to be really nice as far as you can leave him on the safe lane. Yes, the Batraider is going to get a whole lot of farm, but it means that he's not going to get absolutely demolished, and it frees you up to go and gank mid pretty nicely. And I do like this response a lot from IG, however, just because now they can definitely bump the Mirana down probably to a support. I mean, could maybe be mid, but we don't really see it a whole lot in China. And Morphling is very, very difficult to gank as a Slark, though they are picking it into a Shadow Demon, which is always something to keep in mind.
It is a Mirana support with no good setup. Like later on, you can use a Blink Lasso, but even then, it's not the easiest initiation with a Mirana. So there's no Bane, there's no Shadow Demon.
That hero data, oh god.
0% win rate.
Luo Morphling, 0% win rate over 3 games.
Well, look, the hero data worked last game. His Lycan was 100% win rate, and they won. So DK confirmed game 2 winners.
There you go, the Morphling pick. That's it. It's in the bag. Yeah, I mean the Morphling's nice against the Slark, but thinking about it more, it is pretty dicey against the Shadow Demon. And Invoker could go Claws Wex and have an Orchid and be really annoying. He could even go Claws Exort and have an Orchid, which is a very Hani-esque build, but has been shown that it can work. And yeah, this Morphling might be in for a hard time. This is probably I feel pretty confident saying this is probably a fairly early BKB game. Not necessarily first item, but I feel like it's a pretty high value pickup.
Magnus picked up for DK. This is it's something we've seen Mushi play a decent amount of in the past. So we get the Mushi Magnus most likely with the Slark there. Does it get put into the offlane though? Like this is a hero would almost prefer to be mid, and we could even see like a Quaswex offlane Invoker. It's not the worst, especially on the Radiant side where you can just leech XP from very close to your tower fairly safely. And you see that Lich support, you don't expect Lich to be a safe lane to support. So if Invoker's offlane, at worst he maybe gets himself a dual lane, and it's going to be something like a Veno plus Morphling dual lane, which is manageable for Ice, I'd say.
Maybe. Well, okay, yeah. So people are picking up their heroes now. No surprises. It's going to be Ice on the Invoker, Mushi on the Magnus. And yeah, you're right. The only question now is what exactly lanes are going to be. They could put, say, Slark in the off lane, the Invoker safe lane, and have the Magnus mid instead as the other laning option, and just have the supports floating around wherever they're needed. But no, it looks like it's going to be Mushi again, taking up the off lane, Ice mid, and burning safe lane. So nothing too surprising, but we'll see how Mushi does. This is his redemption as the off lane initiator. Maybe he's going to feel a bit more comfortable on the Magnus as opposed to the Tidehunter.
He's had a lot more games on the Magnus. He played this hero quite a bit in the past when it was really popular and trending, back when like the likes of S4 was playing Magnus every game. So we'll get ourselves into game 2. DK trailing 1-0. We're not going to have a score ticker, unfortunately, it looks like. As it's no best of 7 ticker available inside Dota 2.
we'll just keep reminding everybody over the course of the series.
Valve should like patch it in just for this grand final. It should have been like a hotfix, like add best of 7 just for WPC, but didn't happen. The only way no one made a thread on Reddit asking for it, and Valve didn't do it basically.
BTS, where's the production value? Where's your score count? Look, the Chinese stream has a score count. They have 1-0. They don't need the boxes.
Theirs looks super ghetto. Not a fan of the.
Why don't we have a super ghetto score count?
We
don't have one at all.
I could use some XSplit text and like chuck it at the top maybe. All right.
Who knows?
We'll get it going after game 2. We'll get the production value out in full force.
The battle begins.
So IG make an early movement down into the DK jungle. They're going to be placing some wards just to make life a bit of a nuisance for Chen, which Lanham is pretty used to. At this point, we'll see what he's going to be able to get done as far as dewarding is concerned. And I guess we should introduce our teams as well before we get too much further.
All right, well, starting on the Radiant side is DK. Down a game. They're returning champions in WPC. You've got Burning playing a safe lane farming Slark. MMY playing the Shadow Demon. Lamb on the Chen in the jungle. We'll have Ice mid Invoker. Exalt level 1 almost gets hit by an arrow. Whew. That was very close. I was there at the right time to see it go whizzing by him. And Mushi in the offlane Magnus for DK.
Yeah, and over on IG, we're going to have Luo handling the farming Venomancer. We've got Chuan on the support Mirana. Faith is going to be on the hard support Lich. Ferrari 430 this time around. handling the Morphling, so they avoid that 0% Lua Morphling, and YYF is going to be over on the offlane bat.
All right, there's still some hope for IG in game 2. I called them out too early. So I haven't seen much for our Morphling, at least not in this current patch. Something which teams like EG did a lot with TZ, Liquid do a lot with Koikva, but not a playstyle that IG have adopted that much. Sometimes they do it with a Shadow theme, but have not seen the Morphling for Ferrari.
Yeah, and I think normally you would say that the thing for Ferrari is that he's normally the big playmaker and tempo controller for IG, but in this case they have the YYF Batrider. So I think it's all right that Ferrari is on a bit more of a farming carry role this game, just because YYF's bat is something to be feared, for sure.
Well, the farming Venomancer for Lewis, something which isn't entirely unheard of. I mean, I saw one just yesterday from, I think it was Mouse Sports, formerly Team Dog. They ran a...
Not as common, though.
Yeah, Shadow Shot. Okay. No, I'm losing my mind here. No, I'm just recalling farming Venomancers in a few games recently, but it's not a crazy unheard of thing. But
no,
we'll see exactly what build he goes for. It's kind of like, to me, like you play it like a safe lane Viper. You're still looking to rush the mech and get these kind of support utility items as much as possible.
Yeah, I wonder if just because they have the Morphling, I do wonder what kind of build he's gonna go for here. I mean, the Morphling could also adjust for a slightly more early game, early to mid game teamfighty build. In which case, yeah, it could just be the straight mech from the Venomancer. If they want to be really greedy, they could go like double Midas on Venomancer and Morphling. But I don't know if we're going to be seeing that.
Lamb's in so much struggle in the jungle. The struggle is real to deward these sentries, and he's failed twice over. Make it 3 times over. He's used 3 sentries and has succeeded on 0 dewards. Make it 4. He's just lost the jungle. What a disaster.
Lanham's going to look at this replay, and he's going to be like, ah, right, okay.
He's lucky to have found a center at the medium
These are the winning tactics. Yeah. This is tough. Fortunately, it is only sentry wards, so he's going to have access to his jungle again soon-ish, but in the meantime, he's just gonna make his way down towards bot and see if they can get a little bit of a push going. YYF started up the Firefly, but he didn't quite time it right, so the Firefly is actually going to fade, and they are going to be forced to pop their glyph here. So, a bit unfortunate from him. A bit of a misplay, honestly, overall.
And I think with the jungle being entirely blocked, they're like, well, what's our jungle going to do apart from maybe pressure this this bottom tier 1 tower? Could go for a smoke gank with the Shadow Demon, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. Chuan going to TP down bottom to help out and just kind of show some extra force here. They need to still drag this creep over the tower. Chuan going to just arrow a creep to draw it off. I'm okay with that play. Like, anything to keep this tower alive a bit longer as it gets the entire creep wave off, and that's actually going to save the tower. So, big arrows from Chuan. Oh, what a player.
Those creep arrows.
Yeah.
Mad value.
That was well placed.
Well, definitely made the TP worthwhile overall. They lose their glyph, the tower's quite low. The next DK push will probably clean it up, but it is still time bought and definitely important, especially since they've done such a good job of shutting down the Chen early on. Though now he's got full access back to his jungle, so Lanham is back online. He's also got a smoke ready. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that many places to consider actually smoking to. So I think it's pretty much just going to end up being more pressure on YYF, and another arrow is going to sail past mid, but Ice definitely dodges out of the way.
Yeah, Tron's just going to keep on throwing these. If he lands one, it's a kill. Ferrari, level 4 only, so level 2 waveform, but with a good 5-second arrow and a Frost Blast, definitely a kill IG can be picking up, but it does give Mushi decent space at top lane to get some farm, to get some levels with the Mirana not there. So Venomancer going for a 2-1-2 build for now. Is farming well at the top lane, but it's actually the Slark as well as the Morphling on top of the CS charts for now. So Mushi doing a pretty decent job of disrupting Lewis farm at top.
Yeah, and Mushi getting a whole lot of levels out for himself. So while Ice is struggling, the Slark and the Magnus are kind of picking up the slack a little bit, and Ice should be able to get some recovery farm going on during the mid game. So I don't know if he's too worried about his position right now, though he does only have 10 CS, so
and a lot of,
life is not looking the best.
Well, a lot of those are the neutrals. It looks like he's killed this medium camp, I think, twice. I saw him killing Mud Golems with the Forged Spirits earlier. And the problem is right now IG's getting a lot of farm. They've got YYF who just went to the jungle's going to almost hit level 6, up to 1400 gold. Lich has been going basically in between mid lane and the jungle, stacking, using sacrifice mid, stacking again, rinse, repeat, and he's given a lot of farm as a result to the Batrider there. Bottom lane, there is a push coming. Venomancer TP'd in, but it looks like it's too late to do much more, as he's just going to set up camp at this tier 2 tower, look to defend this with the Plague Wards. Luo's only level 5 though, so level 2 Plague Wards gonna slow down this push for sure, and I don't think DK are going to be able to get this tier 2 tower.
Burning misses the last hit from the tower, so we'll give him a little bit of flack for that. He does have a second Glove of Haste picked up, so looks like he might even be considering going back for a Midas, which is not that uncharacteristic for Burning, but I don't know if I like the call that much as far as this game is concerned overall. I mean, it is nice levels, it is okay for keeping his farm up, but the Slug also flash farms reasonably, and it also slows down how quickly he can start moving around and putting pressure on these supports and the Venomancer and whatnot. So, and it keeps him confined to this safe lane for a little bit longer as well.
Well, DK, they get an early tower. They haven't given up any kills here to the Mirana Arrow, so I think they're okay with the position they're in. Even with Ice not getting much farm mid lane. He's got Sunstrike online. Nice. You look at someone like Mushi, he's actually hit level 6 with Arcane Boot, so if he hits someone in an RP into a Sunstrike, you look at Mushi getting solo kills. Mirana actually used to leap just to get away from a potential RP already, so I think a lot of these IG heroes are going to be forced to play very scared because of these Sunstrikes and the initiation potential from a Shadow Demon, from a Magnus. Sunstrikes with Soul Catcher, Sunstrikes with an RP, you're looking at quick and easy kills coming DK's way, and still no First Blood 7 minutes in. That First Blood is going to be a good amount of gold for whoever picks it up.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, those Sunstrike ganks are also a really nice way to help get Ice back on track a little bit for this game. And
yeah,
MMY just chilling behind on mid lane, trying to keep Ice safe, grab a little bit of farms, see if they can maybe find an opportunity on the Lich. Luo, I like this a lot from him. He's sort of got a little bit of initial farm, and now he's just setting up shop at the Ancients, actually letting Chuan get the farm over on the safe lane. So they are transitioning their Mirana a little bit and ensuring that they maybe have a bit more semi-carry power as far as this game is concerned, which is something that a lot of teams have been doing recently. You take a jungle Lycan, you put him in the jungle, one of your supports gets some core farm. You know, exact same argument applies here, and IG making very efficient use of the map right now.
DK smoke up, it looks like they may want to head mid lane. Problem is, Ferrari's just about to kill this creep wave off, and then he wants to back off to the jungle. He's got Midas in 10 gold, so I think he's going to head to the big camp, maybe try and pop a Midas. Actually, the career in use, so he's not going to head there just yet. Right now, DK unsure of where they want to go. 3-man smoke gank. Got Magnus as well as the Shadow Demon. They can look to blow up the Morphling, but he's got a friend in the Lich with him at mid lane, who is Invis, and will scout out this smoke gank fairly early on. Morphling has got time to waveform out, but they scattered the Lich with a Sentry Ward. It's a dead Lich, or is it? They're not going to commit to this. The Ensnare is there. The Sunstrike not going to land. Faith walks the correct direction to avoid it, and still no First Blood. 8.5 minutes in. The smoke gank not going to succeed there for DK.
They had a disruption into a net. I don't know how Ice didn't land that Sunstrike. That was a little bit off from him.
By the time he threw it, the Ensnare was already like mostly used, so he had to kind of guess which way Lich would walk, and yeah, wasn't ready for it.
He almost threw it as if the Ensnare wasn't going to be there, and was just expecting Faith to be running for it. So bit weird, pretty big time investment, and IG, they've just got this Blink Dagger up on the bat, so let's see if YYF and Chuan are going to be a bit more successful with their smoke.
Yeah, Morphling, Midas is up, so he's going to start power leveling. He gets his a similar time to Burning, it looks like. Burning, speaking of which, TP's mid to the tier 2. They've gone in with the lasso. They're going to kill off Ice's First Blood. Faith draws it on the Lich. Not the ideal hero to be getting First Blood on, but at the end of the day, it's a First Blood, a first kill, nonetheless, going the way of Invictus Gaming.
Yeah. I think they would have preferred it maybe on Chuan, since it does seem like Faith is just going to be playing the hard 5, and they are going to be giving Chuan a little bit of farm here. But, like you said, First Blood's a First Blood, and DK feeling that they still have to make some plays with this Chen, and Lanham is pretty much committed. Yeah,
Burning TP mid. He could be farming. He's not wasting time if he finds kills and applies some pressure, but so far he has not done that.
Okay, they've got Disrupt, they've got Sunstrike, they've got RP, they should be able to kill pretty much anybody here, but the question is this gank too obvious? It's 3 heroes, including the carry, off the map. It looks like Chuan might just get caught.
He can go for an instant leap out, but he should be dead regardless, and the Pounce is going to catch him mid-leap. This is a nice gank because it's a kill into a tier 1 tower. There's no way IG can defend this. They're not in position to do so. They may start setting up to defend the tier 2 top, which would need to come from probably the Venomancer, TPing up there. But Venom right now pressuring bottom lane. Luo building towards that mech, and he's actually almost completed it. Just maybe 400 or 500 gold away from it. So. Lich also level 6, so Chain Frost available should DK look to keep on taking fights or pressure even further these lanes.
Yeah, the IG teamfight is definitely getting there. They've also got the Venomancer now picking up some point. Poison Nova, so he's getting a little bit scarier. And these tier 1 towers have been absolutely crucial to Ice staying in this game, because he is still going for a Midas, and the 2 tier 1s have helped him along considerably. So the way that DK have been using this Chen in the early game is definitely paying off. And also Blink Dagger completed for Mushi, so his game's going really nicely.
That came out of nowhere. Like his early laning stage, he wasn't farming that well. He was against a dual lane, but I guess he got enough XP, enough levels. Burning's been initiated bottom lane. The lasso into an arrow. Burning brought down by the IG gank squad. Nicely played, and the tier 1 tower still under siege. Not the greatest damage output here. Poison Ward's not bad at pushing, but by no means are they crazy damage output. But there's no one in sight to defend this, so DK just going to have to give up this bottom tier 1 tower. Trying to go for some counter pressure at mid, but they can't really push this either. At least it doesn't look like it. There's IG heroes rotating in. YWF does not have lasso, but DK just don't have damage output. Oh, Luo went back for a Midas. I love it. I think this
is fine.
I totally agree. He's going to power level so much here because of it. He's going to be level 11 in no time, and he's just going to get massive. The mech will come soon enough regardless, so yeah. I think it's a really smart item pickup in this game. Double Midas on the IG side. They know they can just be more efficient than DK here.
Yeah, double Midas, they can farm their Mirana, so they've got, multiple ways to handle the late game, and they've also seen Midases on 2 heroes on DK, so I think this is a nice adjustment for Luo. And the other thing is that they're always going to be waiting for Ferrari. He's gone Midas, he's pretty much committed to the late game plan right now, so I think this is, like you mentioned, just fine for Luo, and the mech is only going to take another couple of minutes to farm up for him.
Just means, by the time when Ferrari is ready to fight, which is going to be like 25 plus minutes in the game, it just, Veno will be that much higher level, that much more farmed as well, and he's level 10 already, so that level 11 comes really fast with just the 600 experience needed. So that's 10 and a half, and we're going to have a level 2 Poison Nova at like 14 minutes into the game. DK do not want to teamfight into this. They still are looking like a long way away from a mech. Lamp's gone for the Arcane Boots first, so Hand of God going to be available shortly, but just Hand of God not enough to negate the Veno ult.
Yeah, and DK still really want to get some more value out of this Chen.
We got the Dark Pact off Burning. We'll get out of the lasso. There's an RP onto 3 with a skewer. The Sunstrike coming as well. Gets split between 3 heroes, but they lose Lich immediately. No Chain Frost being used. Why are we trying to fly out off the map here? And it looks like he will succeed in doing so. Needs to blink out. Does do so to the shop. Has a TP scroll as well. IG on the run. Shockwave going to be off the mark there. TP still on cooldown. YWF invised up. Looks like he will escape. IG, oh no, IG, can they get YWF out here? Blink is up. Blink, YWF, blink, he doesn't do so. Mushi gets the shockwave. Brings down YWF. He had the blink available. He was waiting for the TP though, and Mushi scouts him out.
Jumping on the Slark is always so dangerous, and especially underneath his own tier 1 tower like that. So nice turnaround from DK, but IG were gambling a bit with going for that pick off.
It worked at bottom lane. I think they're like, okay, last time we went for the Blink Lasso, he didn't get the Dark Pact off on time. This time, we'll see if he's fast enough. But Burning gets the best of him.
Yeah, and Burning farming pretty well, sitting on a nice stack of gold. Ferrari also still just farming up for the time being. Hasn't really shown what he's going to be committing to item-wise just yet. And John just going to pick up some Arcane Boots. Looks like there's going to be still more of your supporty Mirana overall. Lewis got enough gold to finish his mech. So, a bit more punch for IG for these team fights. Though, what can they do? When's the next lasso available? 5 seconds. So, there you go. YYF back on the prowl.
Yep, has a smoke as well, so may see that just get used. I mean, he's just creating space. Find a pick off, don't find a pick off. You apply pressure, you're creating space for this Morphling to keep getting more and more farm. Ferrari's starting to feel like he's maybe in a bit of danger at top lane with lots of heroes missing the map. He starts morphing a bit of strength, but he'll be just fine. Sitting on above 1k HP, it's pretty hard to burst him down. You need to use a lot of heroes, have Shadow Demon there with a Soul Catcher, and much more on top of that. So, Venomancer, there's the mech you're talking about, and YWF for now just happy to jungle it up. He's still working on a 4-staff, which is maybe about 700 gold away, so it's hard to get those lasso ganks off. You can get the Blink Lasso, but to bring heroes back to your team, you need that 4-staff. So maybe we'll wait till he has his 4-staff before IG get more aggressive.
Up until Faith planted that ward, IG were actually completely blind, so they didn't have a good idea of where was safe to gank, so I don't think it's too surprising to see YYF just jungling up, but Yeah, reestablishing a little bit of this map control is going to be really important for them.
Radiant's
and
top tower is under
IG
attack.
gonna take a stab at this tier 1 tower top lane. Looks like DK not too interested in
Radiant
defending, and
structures are
Chuan just gonna lob an
fortified.
arrow to make sure that Mushi isn't hiding in the trees over on the side. The actual gank is coming in.
Yeah. It's so hard to pressure towers against Venomancer. Those maxed out Plague Lords just
Radiant's
stall
top tower
so
is under
well.
attack.
To me, they're much better at counter pushing than they are at actually pushing. And Ferrari
Radiant's top
gets
tower
himself some
has
tower gold
fallen.
at top lane. He's now over 100 CS, 2.7k gold. Looking at items for Morphling, is this Ethereal Blade Rush, or do you need to go for like a Lincoln Sphere or BKB first?
I don't know how valuable the Lincolns is for him this game. Honestly, I feel like there's going to be a lot of ways to pop it. I think... Yeah, okay, well, he's got Ultimate Orb and he's got this bottle, so it looks like it is going to be the Lincolns, but I don't know. I feel like BKB plus Shotgun would have been a fine build here. And yeah, I mean, the Lincoln Sphere helps him split push, but I don't know if it necessarily helps him, I mean, all that much in fights. He's still going to get RP'd. There's a bunch of ways to pop it between Demonic Purge and Disruption. Ice. Could just pick up a Force Staff later on as well. I mean, he's going for Necrobook at the moment, and that Necrobook is also going to be a real nuisance if you only have a Lincoln Sphere.
And there's not really any major spells which you need to block this game. I mean, you're talking about like Demonic Purge that you're blocking, or like a Disruption, but those are the only spells which they're actually going to want to be blocking regardless. So Hexes later on will come into play, but that's not going to be for some time. So.
Yeah, I mean, it is valuable to potentially block the Disruption because the Shadow Demon's going to be a big problem in fights, but at the same time, you can... If you have a BKB, you're not going to get disrupted either.
Bottom lane, Burning's gone in. He's looking for a kill on Chuan. Chuan going to turn around with an invis, and arrow used as well. Burning gets a solo pick off the newly purchased Shadow Blade for him, allowing him to find some kills. Small stuff from DK, but they'll take anything they can get right now with how all this Morphling is farming. Burning's on par with Morphling, but I mean, you talk about late game carries. Morphling takes the cake there.
Yeah. Slark is surprisingly adept in the late game.
YYF. The pounce is there, the Dark Pact as well. YYF gets solo killed by Burning. That Shadow Blade pickup is just gotten DK a big advantage at T1 tower as well. Really nicely played. There is pressure top lane from Ferrari, but DK not going to stop at mid lane. They want to go for the T2 tower as well. Maybe they even fall back, take Roche after this, but right now, IG have their work cut out for them to defend.
Yeah. Ferrari's not in fighting shape at all, so with the build he has, he pretty much has to keep split pushing. YYF's dead, so yeah, tower going down is just a formality at this point, and not a whole lot that IG can get out of it. They do get some damage on the tier 2 top, so Ferrari making the best of a bad situation, though Burning is making some really nice plays on this Slark.
Yeah, he gets sent back home now. Tried to bait out some spells there in the mid lane by diving in, but that's not gonna work. But now we see IG. They're going to look to re-establish some lane control, push these lanes out. They also have got the medallion on the Lich, which, well, is really only picked up for one reason, and that being Roshan. So possible Roshan will be coming soon from IG if they feel safe and they can push out these lanes. One of the big problems, though, is this T1 mid tower is still up, which makes it kind of hard to get that map control you need to secure yourself a Roshan.
Yeah, and this Venomancer pick, I guess the other problem with the Veno here is that it takes a long time to get set up, and DK are just finding burst pickoffs and then immediately going in for towers. So Lua there needs to be a lot of forward planning for him in terms of getting value and holding onto these towers. We still haven't seen a Poison Nova. He's just kind of been sitting back and farming and securing items, and I think that's by and large the plan for IG. Let Ferrari farm, use the Batrider and the Venomancer to hold on to the game, and then hopefully things turn around before...
Bottom lane, Ferrari. A waveform out. Is there a TP? No, there's a replicate though, so he'll use that to escape. Burning just pushing him off the lane there. DK have also importantly seen the gem pickup on the Batrider. Venom bought it, but he hands it over the Batrider, gets some map control, and also, most importantly at this stage almost, deal with the Shadow Blade on Burning. But DK know it's there. They're not going to be caught by surprise by it. It's still a much-needed pickup, however you look at it, though.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, we've seen so many games over the course of, I think especially this tournament, where a gem has been the biggest pickup in the whole game, and losing a gem or holding on to it has been the deciding factor, which is surprising to say, but Vision absolutely wins games at this level, and DK, what are they planning for right now? Looks like Burning's just going to be heading in towards a BKB. I guess he's got his Ogre Club picked up, and they're still just looking to hammer home this timing that they have as much as possible. They're going to have Necro 3 coming up in just a second. They've got their mech completed. Mushi is also
he's close
seemingly
to
working towards a BKB.
Yeah, he's just 1k gold away. His Mithril Hammer sitting at base. So.
Oh, it's on the ground. There we go.
Mushi's one of those players who always drops his items on the ground at base. Like, whenever I see Mushi, I always check the base for items. Because for whatever reason, he loves dropping items at base.
Yeah, that's...
Doesn't believe in using his stash. Juan, meanwhile, so he's burning at top, but... not going to want to go on this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's just going to stick it out over in those trees for now. Maybe he considers TPing out. Maybe if everybody on DK disappears, he'll poke his head out and continue still pushing this lane, but that's about it.
Yep. Alright, well, DK... happy to sit back for the time being. They're working on these BKBs such that they don't really want to fight until they're both completed. Burning's a couple hundred away, Mushi's a couple hundred more away, and once they have double BKBs, I imagine they look to try and take some fights. Ferrari has got the Lincoln Sphere, but just Lincoln's means he can maybe fight and stay alive, but he can't really do damage until he gets his next item, which you got to imagine is going to be that Ethereal Blade.
Yeah, I think Ethereal is probably next on the list for him, but that means he needs to... The Ethereal needs to kill somebody, otherwise he's got a whole lot of farm that isn't really doing a heck of a lot. Because, like you said, the Lincoln Sphere is not sufficient for him to sit and be right-clicking people in fights. So if MMY is on point with a defensive disruption, or if there's a Hand of God mech from Lanham, or just the fact that DK are going to have 2 BKBs on 2 of their cores, then we could see this shotgun fall a little bit flat.
Here we go. Smoke gang towards the Morphling. They want him. He does not have a replicate up right now. Waveform, TP, not being used. He pounces afterwards. They know he's there. The skewer going to cancel. They've caught Ferrari. He's got no escape now as well. Guaranteed kill going the way of DK on the IG main carry. Sunstrike going to be off the mark. The Deathling Blast will push Ferrari back. Slark in the end gets the last hit. No way out for the 430 Morphling. Down he goes.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan was with that Sunstrike from Ice Ice Ice. Clearly the Morphling waved into the trees earlier.
Going for style points.
Oh well, yeah, he was looking for the style points for sure. But they get an important pick off. They've got their BKBs completed. No reason to stop pushing on now and find in some trouble.
He's done for. The pounce again going to cancel the lead. Burning's timings with these pounces after disruptions has been perfect this game. And well, a couple more kills go the way of DK. They're up 7 kills to 2, but the stuff that matters, the farm and the difference in gold. 3,000 in DK's favor. Much closer on the experience, and I feel it's not much of a lead right now for DK as far as where we stand, but they've got the better map control. They're the ones controlling the tempo now, especially because of these BKB pickups. Looks like Mushi's still a couple hundred away from his, so he needs another 250 to get that recipe, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah, IG really have to keep up the split push, and well, if Luo doesn't move now, I think they're just forfeiting this tier 2 on top. They do have a glyph, but Luo seems pretty content to just continue spamming down bottom lane, so he's going to look for a trade as opposed to holding on to their own position on the map.
I don't see him getting this trade really.
No, that's the thing.
He doesn't really push that fast or do that much damage. He does not match up to DK's push. And DK will get this tower, they'll TP back. They've already brought Mushi back, and Mushi hoping for a pickoff maybe. YWAP is there, but there's going to be a lot of heroes TPing in. They do not want to try and get pickoffs here, not to mention it's Burning who TPs in first, so yeah. Make the right decision, TP's back home, and I think going for any sort of a pickoff there for YWF would have been suicide.
Radiant
Ferrari, don't get caught again. Say it ain't
Feeling
so.
bold. He's got a replicate this time around.
Okay, yeah. He learnt his lesson. Always have a replicate up.
Yeah, the Lincoln Sphere gets popped, and that's a very clear sign to...
And they haven't got silence or Hex to stop him from actually morphing strength. Like, even if he gets like stunned in an RP, he can morph strength, and then as soon as the RP stuns one off, he can probably replicate out. They can't really blow him up fast enough, I imagine. Maybe with a Soul Catcher, Sunstrike, and Chaos Meteor.
If he's Soul Catchered at all, I think he'll get beat to death, okay. even with morphing strength. Even if they don't have a Sunstrike, I think you have to. Stark has reasonable burst, and his right click is pretty impressive.
Well, he's playing it so safe. He's sitting on 1600 HP right now. Like, he's not going greedy at all with his agility. But, well, I think rightfully so. He's been picked off once, and he's not going to farm without a replicate up unless he knows he's got backup, and he does right now in the form of Faith. He'll get another replicate, and then probably look to just solo push this. Faith doesn't have to stay once he has a replicate up, but for now, not using his ultimate. As YYF in the jungle trying to farm a BKB of his own, and DK, we're gonna have to keep on coming back and defending against this split push, which is not exactly fun for them. And there we go, replicate out. Did not have that replicate for too long.
Yeah, IG are doing a really good job of just splitting the map with the Venomancer and the Morphling and still heading towards that late game plan. Not letting DK get any value out of these BKBs. We were talking about it as a really big timing for them, but IG have really prevented them from exploiting it. And a lot of that is also just the map control. DK haven't been able to get wards anywhere over on the dire side of the map, just because YYF has been doing a good job patrolling around with this gem.
DK have done enough to prevent IG getting Roshan, possibly until now. Arrow hits Roshan, they decide not to go in right now. Forward Spirit's coming to scout it out, and I think they see the Forward Spirits coming and are like, well, we don't want to get starting to work on it just now. They expire though, and now they may go in. Nope, there's Chen skeletons. Don't do it, don't do it.
The spooky skeletons. Oh, there you go. Skeletons.
Gonna ruin that plan. Like, just as... That's some commitment from DK. You have Forward Spirit scanning out, and then 5 seconds later, there's skeletons.
Yeah, and choosing to go for Roshan actually means that IG falter a little bit in terms of how they've been controlling their lanes. So bottom lane needs to be dealt with, but Burning manages to handle top. So DK making some slight progress in terms of moving forward onto the dire side of the map. And there's still only one tier 2 left for them to take. So we are getting to the point where they can start getting lanes out, and they don't need to get them all the way to the tier 3s. They just need to get them out to the point where they can look for a smoke and look for a pick off, so they can get up onto the high ground after if they get something successfully. So
Sunstrike gonna scout Roshan, so very proactive at DK right now, but they're only up 4k gold, and that's with a 3-tower lead. So end of the day, IG are farming fantastic and actually keeping up, and they win a fight, they get a couple towers, and they're breaking even or even maybe starting to pull ahead. Moonlight Shadow will be popped here as they think about possibly finding an opening here at the mid lane, but it looked like not much more going to come from them. It was with the shotgun pickup for your Morphling, but they're not going to go for anything. So
they've the whole game up until this point for IG has been giving Ferrari the time to get up 15k net worth. Now he needs to show everybody that he can have 15k net worth of impact in these fights, because this is what they've been waiting for. This shotgun was definitely the long-term plan.
Yeah.
So pressure on Ferrari to make plays, but he always comes through.
Yeah, these DK heroes all looking to tank up as much as possible. You've got Earn only on your Shadow Demon, doesn't have the money to buy much more, but Chen buys just a casual vitality booster. But it's not actually a casual vitality booster, he's turning this into a Rod of Atos to deal with that Morphling Lincoln. So talk about breaking the Lincoln Sphere, and you don't really want to have to use a Disruption or Purge to break it, because those are kind of useful spells, but a Rod of Atos, you spam that for days on this Morphling, and that's something which will just tear apart the Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, and Chen can just sit he can sit really far away and just keep spamming that. So yeah, the Lincoln Sphere is not going to be doing a heck of a lot for Ferrari here. And DK finding a little bit of an opportunity. They're making their way down towards this tier 2 bottom. There is a single Plague Ward ready to defend from Lua, but he's a little bit too late.
I believe in my boy Lua. Okay, maybe not this tower.
Maybe not
next
this time. Maybe high ground. High ground for sure.
TP back from Burning though. Looks like DK are not going to go for a high ground push right now, as Burning falls back, pops a Shadow Blade. He's going to go charging forward trying to find a pick up, but that's not going to come his way. So dire Observer Ward on the high ground as well. Burning can kind of scout out the fact there is a ward once he does not get his Shadow Dance coming in, so he knows he's being spotted that little bit longer. But it's nighttime. He gets an offensive ward here, but once again, Burning. Well, I guess maybe he thinks the creep wave reveals. No, he's being pinged. They ping exactly where the ward is. Shotgun forward, replicate out. Musha gets brought low, but he'll be a-okay. And they know exactly where that observer ward is.
Yeah, it looks.
They need to just get a gem. Like this is gem o'clock. You're against Moonlight Shadow. You're also against teams who are trying to. IG's warding last game as well as this game has been fantastic. So I think DK needs a gem ASAP.
MMY not going to opt to buy one. He's actually just going for a VIP booster as well. So the plan is just for everybody to tank up. And I don't know. I think fair call. You're not only are you dealing with the shotgun, but the other thing for DK as well is that you take a team fight, everybody's going to get poison nova unless you somehow manage to catch Luo in the RP and blow him up before he can do anything. So just also having the sustain to keep on pushing after you win a fight is going to be really important to them, and just not randomly dying to Poison Nova and a Gale in the fights is going to be pretty important for MMY.
Doesn't get hit by the arrow. Does see him waveform. Shotgun. Going to force the BKB. Bray got a couple right clicks off, and the shotgun would have done Mushi in, so BKB was essential there. From the Magnet.
Yeah, but IG going to feel pretty good about that. That's a minute bot to just keep on doing their thing. Atos completed on the Chen. 4 staff on the Mirana.
IG just being so efficient. Like, they've got Batrider farming up the jungle, they've got Veno at the Ancient, they've got Morphling wherever he needs to be, pressuring heroes, and Lich just kind of chilling back. Lich is kind of following the Morphling, giving him someone to always replicate. Like, if he needs someone to replicate nearby, Lich is always there for him.
Yeah, that's Lich's job. He's just babysitting at the moment. Ice. They had an idea that there was a ward in the area, so he's just gonna pop his Necro 3. I think he might have just been popping the Necro 3 to maybe go and do a little bit of scouting, but they get the value D-ward out of it as well. And Ferrari purchases a Blink Dagger?
I've never in the history of competitive Dota seen a Blink Dagger Morphling, I don't think.
It lets you always use the waveform as part of your shotgun combo.
Yep.
But
it's an extra like 400-ish damage with the ethereal, I guess.
Is he gonna get to do any right clicking? I mean, if
that comes much later on. You're getting ahead of ourselves here. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if IG can keep the game in the same state that it's in right now, where they're just split pushing, controlling the lanes, and looking for pickoffs, then it's fine. But in terms of actually winning it, that's where things get weird. And I think Burning was a little bit flabbergasted.
What?
Like, Morphling just blinked on top of him, and then waveformed away. He's like, what? What on earth just happened?
If that happened to me, I would be like spamming my Shadow Dance, like, what the hell's going on, guys? I gotta get the hell out of this one. Like, time to panic. Oh my god.
Burning keeps his cool. MMY is telling him, look, buddy, I've got a Blink Dagger. I'm ready to save you if anything goes amiss. And Mushi almost gets blown up.
Mushi?
But...
Yeah. Oh, woof. BKB. He's just gonna keep forcing these Magnus BKB charges. Down to 8 seconds, and we haven't seen a fight. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Slack just gets the kill on the Lich. Burning that Shadow Blade, finding kills left, right, and center. He may get caught out here. The Dark Pack not being used. Lift him up, pull him away from the Morphling. The arrow actually not going to land, and BKB from Burning. He wants Shrine. It looks like he should get to one, but it doesn't. Down goes your Mirana.
Okay, so they can almost kill the Magnus, but can they kill the Slark? Who kills the Slark?
Look, later on, that's the plan. Shen actually gets blown up. Shotgun down. Morphling gets the hell out of there. Burning's in the Roshan pit trying to finish this one off. Okay. On the high ground is low. He sees this. He's going to Blink Dagger himself. I don't think you want to go in. I guess Veno can be in charge of Slug duty. You're Poison Nova. That does decent damage. You can't Dark Pact off Poison Nova, right? I don't think you can.
Poison Nova, I'm not sure.
I don't think you can.
This is something I should know. I'm gonna go and investigate. Give me a second.
All right. Well, we'll keep a look in this game right now. Roshan not attempted by DK. They were worried about the Blink Venom, so we'll see. Roshan actually being claimed by IG, perhaps. No DK in sight for the time being. There's Burning all the way at top. He's got no TP. Ice not there as well, so IG. They maybe could have got Roshan, but they back off for the time being. They're going back in now. Here comes MMY. He's going to scout this one out. Maybe Shadow Poison being used, and it looks like IG do not want to commit to a Roshan themselves.
Sorry, I'm still just checking the dispel list.
Luo, maybe can get jumped. He gets the blink out just in time. Burning was on top of that one, and he gets Lasso brought to the high ground. Doesn't get his BKB off. The burst damage, they blow him up. Gets shredded. Chain Frost, every single ultimate on the IG side gets expended to get that kill. They waste nothing to kill Burning. And I guess it's worth it because you can secure Roshan and maybe even get this tier 1 mid tower, which is actually a pretty important claim at this stage of the game.
Okay, so seemingly the only thing that he shouldn't be able to dispel from Venomancer is Poison Sting. Everything else he can.
He can actually get rid of the Poison Nova. That's actually pretty nice.
Yeah. So there you go. I thought so, but I wasn't sure since you weren't. But they jump in.
Oh, why were you ensnared up? He's got BKB off. He will be able to Firefly to the high ground. I don't think they actually kill him? He gets shotgunned by his teammate. That'll help him out. BKB plus Ethereal equals invulnerability.
Yeah, nice play from Ferrari. Sunstrike's gonna come in, but that's not gonna clean him up. So I mean, DK, they throw out the buyback and they get nothing.
Yeah, he just picked up by Morphling, and he did go for the blink, which slows down his like Manta style for his right clicking or whatever may come next. But he's already up to 3.3k gold. He's already transitioning well into his next big item, and there's no real signs of any threat from DK for pushing high ground. They know they've got plenty of time to keep on farming Ferrari up. Not just Ferrari, your Venomancer, who's now picked up a Ghost Scepter, your Batrider, who's got his BKB. These heroes are all getting bloody farm right now. It's DK just unable to really break through IG. They've got a Hex on the Invoker now, which is kind of their latest big item pickup, but they're not really finding enough kills. It's just come from burning Slark.
And IG now on the front foot. I mean, we've not seen a big RP from Mushi. That could be the big difference maker as far as this game is concerned. And burning, he's off by himself. Needs to be a little bit careful about what he does here. DD Rune gonna get conveniently picked up as he swings past. So
he's feeling pretty invincible. I mean, last time it was like he used the pounce and then got caught out with Dark Factor also. I said, did he got shotgun? Yeah, he got shotgun.
Yeah.
Something very low on HP. Blink Morphling, one of the a caster's nightmare to follow. I'll tell you that.
Just keep an eye on Ferrari. Or burning. Wherever they are, that's where the action's going to be.
Go auto camera on Ferrari right now. Have you tried the new player perspective observing? The directed player perspective that got added?
Hasn't that been in for a while? As a... Like, I remember seeing the post about it, but then also somebody pointed out in the comments and that was added, like, a few months ago.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think the console command's been there for a bit. It's a really nice idea, though. I haven't tried it. Yeah. So somebody can correct me though if I'm off.
All right. Well, back to the game. Ferrari's purchased something. It's going to be a Skadi as his next big item. 2 ultimate orbs on the courier. Still needs a bit more money for that, as it doesn't even have the point boost. Although he is camping out the secret shop. He says, "Guys, I need the courier. Gimme." And DK, they're smoked up. They're making a move towards the enemy jungle here. Right now, they're playing very blind. Don't have much vision and just don't have much control over this game whatsoever. The Chen pick 2 games in a row hasn't really worked out. They play these ultra long late games, and that's where Chen just really falls off the longer the game goes.
Yeah, they've still just been hunting for this one pick-off to go and find a tier 3 for like the last 15 minutes. And they just have not been able to do it. IG have been extremely disciplined in their play. And just, again, completely denying DK any kind of vision. The most aggressive ward DK have had for ages is one that they have right now, which gives a tiny bit of vision over into the dire jungle. But that's about it. So.
All right, we're in for 7 60+ minute games here, Cameron. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm prepared for 9+ hours.
Every single one. Yeah, if this cast is under 8 hours, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I'll be shocked. Well, who knows if IG keep it up, they could just 4 whatever the whole thing.
Even if it's a 4-0, it's still going like 6 hours.
It's still going to be a while. And we don't know if we have any breaks. Are there any breaks? That's the big question.
Yeah, the quote-unquote lunch break that was so infamous about the last WPC was partly because of how he was playing for IG then, having to get like a visa or go to like the embassy. So I think there was meant to be like a maybe 30-minute break to an hour break, but the 3-hour break was because he had to go to the embassy. So that was not actually intended.
And then he got delayed as well, and yeah, that got really messy very quickly. But
yeah, I don't know all that went down, but it was not meant to be as long a break as it was.
You can maybe sell the best of 7 a little bit better as a grueling test of your Dota endurance, but yeah, I don't know if I like the format that much otherwise, though. It is giving us some pretty nice games, at least thus far. So Ferrari's got his Skadi. The right click is now there, more or less. He's a bit more prepared to actually beat somebody to death, or gently massage them, as the case may be, with the way that Morphling's auto attack looks.
IG have brought down the tier 1. Well, they with some help from the deny. That getting denied, that's a win for IG, because they just want that tower off the map. Because that just gives DK such a good stronghold over the Roshan fight as well as the mid lane. So
yeah,
it's been a long time coming, but finally gets brought down.
Yeah, the farm is ridiculously even for the what stage of the game we're in. Only 2.5k gold, 2k experience. IG now starting to make a few more moves of their own, but that means they sacrifice a little bit of their position on the map, but now they're going to have to go back and deal with the split push, and this is definitely very Chinese Dota at the moment.
Yeah.
Just nobody making any weird positioning decisions or putting themselves in a spot where they might get picked off, though. As I say that, Ferrari gets spotted, tries to shotgun down Ice, but not going to happen.
Yeah. Lamb was there with the mech, didn't even need the mech to save him. Ice was fine regardless. I have a feeling we won't be seeing a Skadi Invoker this game. I think we're going to be looking at Ags Refresher type items. You go late game Invoker is as scary as a late game Morphling if you get level 25 and you're 6 slotted with Ags Refresher.
Yeah, I think like Ags, Refresher, BKB, Blinkins are all considerations here for Ice. I think maybe like one item and then into the BKB, or he might just go straight up BKB here if DK feel that they can put themselves in a position to force things by just having triple BKB available and avoiding one of their cores getting blown up by the Morphlings. So we'll see what he does.
We'll see what the plan is in general for DK as well. Refresher going to be Mushi's next big item. Looks like he's just picked up the Oblivion Staff. What's seeing at base? And it's going to be nothing more
check
coming.
Check the fountain.
Yeah, check the fountain. It's Mushi. Where are your items? Going to be somewhere sitting around. As for Burning, he's got almost up to 5k gold. He is looking absolutely stacked. So probably an Abyssal Blade next. Maybe he wants some evasion against the Morphling, since Morphling is not really a good candidate to buy MKB. You can, but you never really want to buy MKB on Morphling. And Burning's got power this game, so he actually hits a lot harder and into an AoE as well. So this is definitely a nice game to be a melee carry hero.
Yeah, I think Butterfly Butterfly sounds good, as does Abyssal Blade. We'll see what Burning's preference is going to be. He's just stockpiling gold for the time being. The Butterfly is a lot of damage, especially with Empower as well, which you won't get the benefit on for Abyssal Blade, so maybe that sways Burning's decision making a little bit here.
IG for the first time in this game actually kind of making a move, getting aggressive. They're on the other side of the map. They get an offensive ward down. They want to go for this tier 2 bottom tower. DK, it's not really worth the risk unless they feel like they have to take a fight or they're going to lose this game late. It's not worth it just to stop your opponent from getting 1,500 gold or so. And they're actually pressing
it's a crappy tower to defend. It's a really bad tower to defend. It's the Radiant. You're just up a hill, through a choke point. There's a good chance that you're getting spotted by a ward somewhere, and it's just not worth the risk for DK there. So they just give it away.
Well, our WPC best of 7 rematch from Season 1 has proven to be just as close and tense as last year. And, well, we've got IG up 1-0. Similar story to last year as well. That 1-0 became a 3-0 before DK turned it around. And Roshan respawning in 10 seconds time. That's going to be the next focus of attention for both of these two teams. DK want to try and stop IG from claiming it, but if that bottom tier 2 tower is anything to go by, we may just see IG snag Roshan without much of a fight.
And Ferrari, again the target top laner. They're going to invest in RP for this. No! He jumps out of the way just in time.
Oh, man.
Those reactions from Ferrari, that was impressive.
I don't know if he dies anyway, but yeah.
No.
Sunstrike could have made it close, but I think he survives it, to be honest.
I mean, how long do they have? They've got 3 seconds from the RP. It was only level 2.
He can morph sprint during it as well.
Yeah, and then he also gets shoved a little bit by Skewer, but that's about it. So yeah, maybe he survives anyway, but RP's on cooldown, so IG may be feeling a little bit more bold. Ferrari did sell his Midas. He could have held on to the value Courier Midas, but that looks like instead it's just going to be... He now gets the BKB, which, as I was saying much earlier into the game, I think was an absolute must, but he's got it up. He's feeling pretty combat ready, and IG going to go for a smoke. It does end up being the Butterfly for Burning. As mentioned, it works so nicely with Empower that I think this is a great pickup, but IG moving into the neighborhood.
YYF is going to find Burning soon. We'll see him momentarily. Can he get the Dark Pact off? Yes, he does. We'll get out of this momentarily. Pops the Shadow Dance as well. Arrow comes through, catches Burning, but he's in BKB form. Now the Ghost Scepter is going to help IG. But with Burning's BKB down as well as the Shadow Dance, they back off. IG, if they get that lasso before the Dark Pact, they maybe land an arrow and can burst down Burning, but not the case. But still a good attempt regardless.
Yeah, and we definitely saw, Poison Nova and everything else completely dispelled, so... Yeah. The only thing Luo got out of that, the only thing Luo got out of that was a little bit of damage on Mushi, who's just going to be going to be healed back up. They should probably top him off, though, just because, again, there's always that roving, blinking, shotgunning Morphling on the hunt for him.
Out of earn charges, though, unfortunately. I guess the Chen mech can be used, and it's DK in the Roshan pit. I don't think IG quite realized what's going on. Otherwise, they'd be looking to contest this. They're getting a tier 2 top tower, but
Radiant's top tower
really nicely played by DK. They find an opening. The TP's coming in, but it looks like it's too late. IG will not get here in time to the Roshan pit. Burning's going to have ages to himself.
Roshan has fallen to the ring.
Right.
There you go.
Game on. DK needed that. They were really struggling the last 10-15 minutes of this game, it felt like. That's a much needed Roshan.
Both teams know that there's a DD top. Is anybody going to go for it? No, looks like DK want to start off the siege with the Slark immediately. So also the lanes are in a pretty good position for them. 2 out of 3 lanes in a great spot. So if they just hover back and forth between mid and bot, they can hold this position for a really long time.
It's still such a struggle for their line to push high ground. The only good pushing there they have is that Invoker, and you're pushing into a Bat Rider, so only Slark can be on the high ground with his Aegis. So, well, looks like Burning happy just to right-click away at this tower. No glyph available. At least a tier 3 tower going down, so...
Only Slark needs to be on the high ground.
Yeah. And you can throw shotguns on him, but unlike any other hero, you just fall back and heal up using your Shadow Dance, so... Not an easy thing to stop a push by just spamming shotguns on that pushing hero. Like, if it's a life steal or something, you just shotgun him, force out a rage, or just get him down to half HP, and then he has to back off. But Rax is now under siege. They can't really go on Burning because of this Aegis. They blink in. They're going to just lasso with a shotgun here. They want to bring him down. The RP is there. Catches out just 2, though. YWF as well as Faith. They've also blown the Aegis on Burning now. There's your Chaos Mirror rolling on through. Mushi's on the run. He's being slowed up. Morphling's BKB. He's trying to get some kills off of this one. He blinks himself into the fight. The blink Morphling not going to get a kill. The defensive disruption saves Mushi's life. Blinks himself out of there. Ferrari now back to protecting these Raxes. Burning's not done. He wants back in the Sunstrike on a Ferrari. Ferrari's got shotgun in 5 seconds. Buyback from your Venomancer, who does not have ultimate anymore. He's already expended it. There's an arrow in 3 seconds, but it looks like DK, after the Venom buyback, happy to back off. No more Aegis in their hand.
Still managed to get the 2-3. A little bit of damage on the ranged Rax. Of course, the melee barracks is going to heal back up. And crucially also got that one buyback out. So I think DK are gonna call that a win. Back off. IG can still reestablish control over their side of the map. Just go for a bit of a tour with YYF. But I think DK are gonna feel a bit of relief in finally getting up onto the high ground. But a big reason as to why that happened is IG decided that they were in a position to force things and went for that tier 2, and as soon as they go on the aggressive, their defensive position falters and they lose Roshan straight into high ground. So they're going to be kicking themselves a little bit about that.
And I think they were right in thinking they were the ones who can get aggressive and control the tempo at that point. They got to a point where they were in a stronger position, but DK just capitalized of IG, just getting caught off guard, catching with their pants down, and suddenly IG exposed Raxes. They can still get more aggressive now. The Aegis has been used, which makes Burning a lot more vulnerable, especially with this BKB getting lower and lower. It's down to just 7 seconds now, as Burning does pick up a Basher, so we'll be transitioning into an Abyssal Blade and also making sure he has buyback available. But DK, they're going for round 2 at bottom lane. After that last push, they're feeling pretty confident that they can maybe make a go on these bottom Raxes. The melee Rax will be mostly healed up, but DK not ready to go just yet. Ice still lagging behind, but he'll be there soon enough.
MMY has the second Rod of Atos for the team, so this Lincoln Sphere is pretty irrelevant for Ferrari at this point, and
they're still buying Sentry Wards. I'm surprised DK are not buying Gem in a game like this. I guess maybe just worried that a support will just get blown up by a shotgun and lose it. But no Gem.
And okay, Ferrari's already TPing back. He hasn't been seen though. Oh, he is going to be seen now, actually. So, but DK are still going to probably deal with this lane and then make their way out. How is that refresher up going? The recipe is actually sitting back in the fountain, so looks like that's probably just the call for DK to go and finish up farming that and maybe have another crack at it.
Yeah, Mushi not even worried about having buyback at this stage. The way he's playing things fairly safe there. You've got the Chen to back you up, and he's most likely getting BKBs off. So, although his BKB has been worn down because of the Morphling shotgun so many times. IG, they need to get some map control back. There's Radiant wards all over their side of the map. They've got that Bat Rider gem, but he's actually not scattered out some of these wards near the secret shop. As IG are going to move on down, but the movement of Chuan and Faith has been spotted by DK earlier on. what do you feel like IG need to be doing here? Do they need to get aggressive, move on out, or is it just kind of like a sit back, wait for DK come to them?
I feel like they just kind of want to re-establish the non-stop split push and maybe try and pick up an Aegis for themselves. They definitely do not want to let DK be sieging them inside their base and keep them pinned. So yeah, I think first and foremost they really want to be just keeping control of the tempo of the game, because as soon as things slipped, we saw exactly what could happen.
They've got buybacks across key heroes with Batrider as well as Morphling having buyback. No Veno buyback, as Veno just bought a fresh BKB, so Lua's got a 10-second BKB for this next fight. It can help a lot, but he's got to use it, and against Slark, you can always get burst down pretty fast. Against the Magnus RP, if you get caught in that, you're just straight up dead, so not an easy game for Veno by any means.
Yeah, and at this point, Ferrari pretty much needs to be doing all of the damage. Like, yes, Lua is going to be nice as far as keeping the supports back and, you know, potentially canceling a Blink Dagger on Mushi, something like that, though he's not going to be... Just the duration that Poison Nova is going to take to work out, I don't know if IG are going to get that long to drag out a fight. I mean, they are reasonably mobile as heroes go, but... Yeah, though there is the potential for DK to accidentally group up too much while trying to jump on top of Ferrari, and then you get potential for 5-man Poison Nova, 5-man Chain Frost, and that could be trouble for DK. And the split push is working out now, as DK try to make an attempt to get on bottom lane, but top lane forces them back.
I think to some extent, I think DK realistically, I think they realize they're not going high ground right now, regardless. But it's like it's almost their version of split push, just with 3 or 4 heroes, because they haven't got like a solo split pusher. So they send 4 heroes bottom to push out the lane. They send 1 top to keep this one, well, to deal with the Morphling split pushing it. But until they get that Magnus refresher, Burning's also, his Abyssal Blade is up as soon as he wants to buy it when he has buyback, which he needs like another maybe 500 to 1k gold for. Then we look towards DK maybe going for an actual commitment to a high ground push. But I think we see Roshan back up before there's any more high ground pushes, and that's where whoever gets this Aegis and Cheese is going to be in a really good position. And I don't imagine IG are going to let it go like they did last time.
Yeah, the one thing to mention for DK is that you say they don't have a solo split pusher, but they kind of do, with Ice having these boots of travel.
Yeah.
He can be handling top lane and always be ready to TP to a Chen creep as needed. So, though I think he wants to hold on to his BOTs for buyback right now. Oh, MMY gets caught. Shotgun down.
Morphling just right-clicked his replicate on a YYF. Like, look, if you find a pick-off, my replicate's there and I'll come in. And there we go. Finds one, bursts him down. He had his options there. I think he also saw Lamb on the Chen, but Shadow Demon just leads. If you want to fight 5v4 afterwards, Shadow Demon dead is more important than a dead Chen.
And you got to stop the Shadow Demon saving the Chen as well.
Yep. And Morphling is going to go MKB, so there's your last item. Sells his Blink Dagger, picks up the MKB to deal with the evasion on Burning Slark, so not your ideal last item, but it's kind of essential with the evasion going around on DK's side.
Yeah, and DK, they are now kind of forced back into their corner of the map. Roshan will figure out the respawn in a couple of seconds, but IG making another aggressive move. Lasso's back off cooldown.
That 50-second cooldown doing work here. DK are positioned well on the high ground here. They're on the they're on the right side of this. The wrong side if you're an IG fan, because IG are not going to find anyone with this invis initiation. Looks like Ping's maybe coming out here. There's your lasso in. It's gone on Burning. Can he get off a Dark Pact? He didn't get it this time. The Chain Frost is there as well. They're going to try shocking him down. Burning's low. The RP going to do just enough to keep Burning alive. Burning's in Shadow Dance trying to turn this around onto Ferrari, but Ferrari's just so goddamn tanky right now. Burning can't find a way out of this fight. One last right click. Finishes him off. He's got a buyback, which he uses instantly. Sound the retreat, IG. You do not want to fight a second Slack. You're not ready for it. Lua BKB'd up. Chaos Meter not doing enough damage there, really fighting too much there. Veno ends up getting a kill on the Magnus. He dies to the poison damage. Well back near his base, and IG are forced out of Slark buyback. They killed the Magnus. They see Roshan is not back yet, but it's coming back any second now, and they should be able to secure that. Really good fight for IG. Even if they don't kill the Slark, they take him out of the fight if they get him down to like a quarter HP, because he can't keep on fighting when he's that low.
Yeah, and now that Burning is bought back, they can't afford to be taking fights like this, where they're kind of baiting Burning and then relying on Mushi to counter-initiate with the RP, but even that hasn't been working out that well for them, and Roshan going to be cleaned up. Luo has a shotgun of his own now.
Maybe if Mushi had his refresher, which is sitting at base, it was just picked up before the fight broke out. Like, it was coming out to him, and then Burning got jumped, and didn't have time to wait for it, but... Oh. I don't know. It's going to be tough from here for DK. They're up against Aegis as well as Cheese now on the Dire side. They're getting fat. Like, they're all fat. They're like, you've got a 6-slotted Slack. Your Invoker's getting almost 6-slotted as well. He's got Perseverance, so a possible Refresher Orb coming out for Ice as well. Or maybe just the Lincoln Sphere to deal with the Batrider Lasso, but either way, it's more big item pickups for DK, but so far it just hasn't been enough.
Yeah, and now they are well and truly back on their side of the map. IG controlling the Dire side, and things are pretty cruisy for them from here. I mean, they could still, of course, lose a team fight. DK swing down mid and take 2 lanes of racks, and it's game on again, but so long as things keep going the way that they are.
Lasso is there. Did he get the Dark Pact off? No, he didn't. There's an arrow to fall. There's nice defensive disruption. There's one up here. Is there a second from Mushi? You betcha there is. Double RP. Chaos Meteor. Deafening Blast. They lost Marana. They lose Lich as well. YYF is going to help blow up the Magnus in return. Poison Nova onto 4 heroes. They're just going to get demolished by Ferrari. He's getting cold snapped up. Great play by Ice, but it may not be enough here. He gets disrupted as well. Keeps himself alive. The poison damage still coming through. YYF once more. He's got the Aegis. MMY gets low. One more right click is needed. He's going to still be alive. The Poison Nova not fatal. 3 for 3 trade so far. The Aegis going to respawn. YYF has a burning Slark waiting for him. He's got no way out. He gets brought down. Ferrari, one of the only ones left standing. The Venomancer back here as well, but he's completely exhausted all his spells. Buyback from your Invoker. Sunstrike is there, but he's not going to find anyone here. Burning. Oh, looking for the first hit bash. If he gets a bash there, that's a dead Morphling. Unfortunately, does not go his way.
25% odds.
Oh man, that's one of those ones which could just win you the game, or well, not lose you the game, but it could just straight. Well, it forces a Morphling buyback. Morphling is 7.5k gold, but what a fight! Mushi got the perfect initiation, and with DK's current position, unless you get that perfect double RP, you're not going to the fight. We'll take another look at just how things went down there. The first RP caught 4, the second caught all 5 heroes with a Chaos Meteor and Deafening Blast. It was the play of the match from Mushi. Like, that's where he's much more comfortable in this Magnus than the Tidehunter. Problem is, Venomancer got a great Poison Nova. His position on the high ground caught all 4 DK heroes with the Poison Nova, and the disruptions, I think, looking back on that fight from MMY, saved DK massively. MMY got 2 clutch disruptions off that saved people, and without that, IG straight up win that team fight.
Yeah, but the biggest problem for DK is now really showing up is that they dropped the combo on everybody, but the Morphling was completely unscathed. It's all up to Burning to kill him off in these fights, but he's really struggling to do so. And you know, we haven't even really seen that shotgun from Luo, which is going to be a big problem as far as just keeping Burning at bay. And I mean, Ice has farm, but it's not really doing anything for DK right now. So long as these BKBs are still up, they are wearing down a little bit now, though.
Ferrari bought a Butterfly on his Morphling, so replaces the Lincoln Sphere, still has the BKB there, and decides he wants more damage output, some evasion of his own to deal with Slark, and this is problematic for Slark. No MKB, and no real MKB in sight. Doesn't have the item slots, and also doesn't have the money to buy it right now. So.
Yeah. So he had a Blink, it's gone. He had a Midas, it's gone. He had a Lincoln Sphere, it's gone. So how many slotted was this Morphling over the course of this game?
And to think he still has 5k gold with buyback.
Oh, Burning gets out of it this time.
Instant Dark Pack. That was like a preemptive before he even saw them coming in.
He was doing it to farm the creep wave.
Yeah.
That or he was trying to bait it, but... Yeah.
At this point, like, Burning just wants to almost spam Dark Pack. I guess if you use it and then Batrider's waiting, he waits until you use on a creep wave and then goes in, but... He's been... Even the 1 or 2 times where he did react to the Batrider, get the Dark Pact off, you still get like a good 1.5 second lasso, because Dark Pact is not instant. So even if you... Well, it's 1.5 seconds. You get maybe like a 1 second lasso. But man...
Well, YYF is also just thinking like, look, there's no way Burning is stupid enough to Dark Pact a creep wave while he thinks he's in danger. So... Like, there's a little bit of mind gaming going on as well here.
They're showing slow motion replays of that last fight now on the Chinese stream. As if it wasn't enough. That was.
What do we got? Like, is this quarter speed now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was some ultra slow mo. Here's the double RP into Invoker combo, and it just did not kill anyone. Well, it killed the 2 supports.
So Ice, 1 Invoker combo is not enough. Let's see if 2 Invoker combos is gonna do it.
Ooh, RP onto the Batrider. They've caught YYF. They're happy to use a solo RP, but they may not even get the kill on YYF. Burning BKB in. He wants YYF. He may not actually get him here. Morphling, meanwhile, bursts down the Shadow Demon. No disruptions this fight. Lamb could be the second one to go. And you betcha he will. Chain Frost coming in. Burning's been caught up. No send back from the Chen, and Burning, he's been done in. Insta buyback from Slack. Only way DK can stay in this game. There is a second RP. Yes, Refresher is ready for Mushi.
I kind of just want to see how long Burning's going to be dead if he dies again now. Because he just bought back with 125 seconds to respawn. So maybe we'll get to see it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
2-minute buyback cooldown, but that'd take a few more.
Middle tower has
DK lost another coin flip there. They got the Soul Catcher on the Replicate instead of the Hero. But I don't think it would have gotten them the kill. Anyway.
Well, let's see what you've got, Ice. Needs to stall this as long as possible, and Mushi needs another big RP. But it's just going to be Ferrari on the high ground for the most part. Ferrari plus Plague Wards, and the Plague Wards giving great vision of these DK heroes. Arrow could also used just to scout things out. Tron doesn't really care if it lands or not, and they're going to catch up Burning. No, Dark Pact is used. Lasso now on cooldown. That's a big win here. Ferrari going to get pushed back as well. RP is available, but he doesn't want to use the Refresher, and that's actually going to give him double RP in 20 seconds time. They killed Ferrari. Great pick off there with the Blink Skewer, and now they're going to get Luo as well. Burning's just doing work here. Luo pops his BKB. He's popped the Poison over as well, doing a lot of damage here. Gale comes up, but Burning just Dark Packs all of that off. The Poison Sink, all that remains, and DK have held. They push back IG, killing the Morphling against all odds.
Yeah, DK come through in the clutch. Mushi with the Skewer. That was very nicely played, and well, showing that DK still definitely have something to say about the course of this game. Morphling does have buyback, but I think DK gonna force it out of him. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, double buyback
already.
They realize what's coming their way down the mid lane. Say, let's just use our double buybacks, push him back, because IG, so much of their game plan relies on keeping all these waves pushed out and pressuring DK, so they're happy to just use these buybacks.
So this is pretty much the game. I don't think either team can necessarily wait around. For Roshan, we've got heroes that if they die are going to be dead for an eternity, and DK looking to take the high ground, looking for the advantageous position here.
Venomancer scouts him out with the Replicate though. Could instantly hex this one, and they will do so, but now that's 30 seconds with no hex. Ice could refresh it, but we'll see what's going to happen here. The one key hero that does have buyback is going to be your Batrider. So we could see Batrider go in, and if he dies, can buy back and come back into a fight, but DK bottom lane, and it's DK also with no buyback. So I think as much as IG don't want to fight because of Morphling having no buyback, DK's in the same boat. Slark dying could be just instantly game over.
Yeah, I cannot imagine what Mushi is going through right now. He is like, if he catches 4 heroes in a double RP, they win the game. That's like that's that, right? So this is where Mushi is probably feeling it is most pressured. But he's an experienced player. He knows what he's doing. I don't even know if he's going to be feeling the nerves, but I'm feeling nerves for him at this point. Like,
I feel nervous right now. My heartbeat is racing. The warding from both teams has been amazing this game. Like, looking even right now, 63 minutes in with both teams having gems and whatnot. There's Radiant Vision around the bottom lane, around the Roshan pit, in the enemy jungle. Similar story for the Dire side. 2 fantastic offensive wards, one on the high ground of the enemy base. And still, neither team can break through. Neither team can find their openings. We're once again past the 60-minute mark. This game going longer than game 1 even. And IG and DK just blow for blow. It's a 2.5k gold lead. XP 10k, but these numbers just don't mean anything once you get to 60 plus minutes into the game.
What does matter, Ferrari has picked himself up as Satanic. We've got an MKB for Burning, so both heroes.
What did Ferrari drop to get the Satanic? Scotty? Yeah, Scotty, I guess.
Scotty. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Alright.
Okay.
What's the lifesteal to just keep on man fighting?
Yeah, I guess new BKB is probably next on the agenda unless this game drags out long enough that he has buyback available again. That's probably it.
Well,
the Ethereal Blade is actually still pretty valuable.
Yes, I think you want to keep that. And the Veno Ethereal Blade is going to be clutch as well, because if he doesn't, let's say Ferrari gets locked down by hexes as well as by RPs, the Ethereal Blade from the Venomancer has to save the Morphling, because Morphling can get blown up. There's double hex with a refresher. There's also like double Chaos Meteor. There's so much burst damage from DK that this Morphling needs a lot of protection. And that Ethereal Blade from Venomancer could theoretically do that. So Luo, watch out for your buddy. The Morphling is the guy you've got to protect this game.
Yeah, but DK have managed to get things back in a position where they're actually the ones controlling more of the map. They've got some nice vision established. IG are just kind of IG are so afraid of the double
Rax is
RP.
down, boys.
Range Drax down. 65 minutes into the game, everybody.
GG, game's over.
Chinese Dota. That's.
IG could not care less right now. As
yeah, Range Drax are like, yeah, okay, that's fine. You can have all the Range Draxes you want.
Yep.
We just.
Where is
Burning?
this Bat Rider? He's making it. Bat Rider's not there just yet. Burning, no buyback still for 40 seconds. This is dicey. Not to mention he's got not enough unreliable. He's all unreliable gold, so he won't actually have buyback even once it does come off cooldown. He still needs to farm. So both teams' buyback's going to be online soon. The main thing is they need to farm it. And DK's actually come up first. Theirs are going to be online, and there's about a 2-minute window where IG will not have buyback. But with that said, DK probably would rather go for Roshan than go for a high ground push. We'll see,
this is where the random Roshan time actually works out fairly nicely for DK, given the overall position of the lane. It gets pretty even. I think both teams have well and truly scouted this out. So now it just becomes a lane control battle to see how this to see what happens here, and any potential pickoffs in the interim as well.
Ice with the late game Blink Dagger, and I really like this because Morphling sold his Lincoln Sphere. You Blink Hex him, it's guaranteed to land. And he sold it partly because of all these Rod of A tosses, but then you expose yourself to plays like this. Ice is going to be watching out for that Morphling. If you get a Blink Hex, blow him up with your combo, refresh, hex him again, throw another combo, you're looking at DK just straight up winning a team fight potentially. That's where Morphling has to have buyback, which he will have in about 1 minute's time. It looks like DK not going to be able to break through during this current time span, but Roshan's still up and still DK eyeballing it off.
Ice blinks forward, looking for ROAF, not going to find him. And I mean, we're talking about this, but this is another big thing. The late game potential of the Invoker and the Magnus are just ridiculous. And it's not that, you know, Luo can't make plays at this level. It's just that the hero Venomancer can't really do anything.
Yeah.
Roshan's down.
Oh, Burning actually gets pushed forward. I was about to say, Venom, you do not want to be fighting into that one. So, full retreat. And now we'll see DK. I think this bottom melee rack should be something that's quite easy to pick up with the Aegis and Cheese on their side. And then, similarly, I don't think IG want to spend too much trying to defend this.
Okay, so Ferrari pressures top, but he doesn't have a split pushing build. He doesn't have a Manta style. He's got a build like that's tailor-made to try and man
Invoker's
fight
trying to
this
bait
slide.
him out. Ice is sitting. He was sitting far back, hoping that Ferrari would go high ground. He wasn't actually showing himself, but didn't happen.
Crucially, they used the Chen send back there to get Ice in position to defend. So he's got his BOTs available to rejoin bottom lane, assuming that they see Ferrari in the neighborhood, and he is just about to reveal himself both to the wards and to the creep wave. So, okay, DK, the BOT's gone bottom lane. Ice, he will probably refresh his boat. Comes to RP.
One RP, Luo, the one getting caught out by this one. Don't want to use a second one. Luo still alive with the Ethereal Blade. He pops his ultimate as well. Ice shows up with a BKB. Deathling Blast. They killed the Vengeance to start things off. Ferrari going to wait forward. He wants Ice, but the Ghost Walk, he's got no detection to help him out. Meanwhile, the Slark doing some work on the backline here. Does not have Aegis on himself. Then they're going to buy back. Another Meteor coming through. Bernie going to finish off the Morphling. Morphling's got to buy back. He does do so immediately. And there's still an RP left. Mushi's got one more. Cheese still online. Aegis still online, and Morphling's buyback on cooldown. Venomancer's buyback on cooldown. This is it for DK. They're looking good in game 2.
Yeah, and Burning has enough, I think, to die and BOT buyback as well. So he may as well have a second life for this fight, as does Ice. So this is actually huge for DK. This is a ridiculously difficult defense for IG.
I think IG definitely give up bottom lane. It's not worth defending this one, but with that said, YYF gets hexed, but full stuff away. Melee racks, we'll see. Burning actually taking a lot of damage here. Ice gets pulled in, but the defensive disruption from MMY is enough. Mushi also low on HP. Burning gets first down here. May need to buy back out of this one. They lose Ice as well. A great hold coming in from IG. They've killed 2. They forced buybacks here. Mushi maybe going to go down a second time. He's propped the Aegis, but it's not going to matter. IG just bait DK into their base, and this time around it's IG getting the better jump there. They didn't need everything like last time, and this time around it just goes so much better for them.
Mushi just didn't land the RP. I mean, it's a
got the lasso.
difficult ask, But yeah.
YYF came up so big with that Blink Lasso. Sure, the disruption was there, but at that point, Shadow Demon had to go into the high ground. Shadow Demon was in the worst position imaginable. Not to mention the hero that got lassoed was still in a bad position. So even though you save him a little bit longer, IG still win the fight. 70 plus minutes now, and IG versus DK game 2, still anyone's to grab. No, neither team has buybacks on their carries. Oh my god.
There's still a cheese lingering around on MMY right now, so the potential's there to pass that over to, I guess, not to Ice Ice Ice.
Slack and Ice 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 the Invoker both have full slots, so Magnus is really your only option, but like we saw there, Aegis doesn't really save him. I think Cheese is the same boat. Maybe it keeps him alive a little longer, but it's only save his life ever.
How is there still only 1 Rax taken? At 71 minutes into this game. This is absolutely ridiculous.
This grand finals is insane. It's living up to the expectations laid out to it. Like last year you had a best of 7 series start with IG up 3-0 and DK turn around 4-3. Something completely unheard of. In no sport, be it esports, professional sports, in best of 7 series, is like a 3-0 comeback even really possible. It doesn't happen. DK did it, and we had another grand final with the exact same 2 teams. It's kind of like, well, it's unlikely to live up to that. But so far, game 1 and game 2, both down to the wire. DK, IG, just entertaining and also just playing amazing Dota. And right now...
I was like, oh, you know, it's a best of 7. Maybe we'll see some fast push strats. Maybe we'll see some different things.
Yeah,
God,
right.
no. 70 plus minutes every single game.
Right. We've got another replay coming. This is the fight bottom lane. We get a better idea of what exactly went down here. The disruption was there, but yeah, it's the RP. It didn't land. And Burning was just... Oh, Ice 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 was just in such a bad position after getting lassoed in, so... From there, it was all over for DK with that push.
Yeah, and... I mean, I think Mushi might have caught 2 with the RP, but he faltered a bit. And I don't even know if it would have been that good in RP anyway, even if he'd gone for the follow-through. But they've got the double RP up now. We're back in a similar position, but this time around, no Aegis available for DK, no buyback for the Slark, no buyback for the Invoker. So a crucial hold from IG, and neither team wants to do anything. It's so risky. I mean, it all comes down to the one fight, and both teams are gonna vie for position as much as they can, and even try and wait for buybacks, wait for... I don't know if there's any more items to wait around for aside from some of the supports getting a little bit scarier. Maybe a Hex on Mushi, but that's about about it.
I mean, at this point, priority number 1 is going to always be buybacks
and new BKBs.
Yeah.
Dyer's
That's where
bottom
Magnus,
barracks
his
are under
buyback
attack.
especially, if he gets picked off, if he gets taken on a fight, even if he's RP's on clear, if he has a refresher, buying back and having that second ulti could change a game. So we'll see Slark buy his new BKB. Spends all his money. Doesn't have buyback anyways for 2.5 minutes, but considering the tempo this game's going, he needs to farm that buyback in this 2 minutes time, because I don't think IG are looking to push during this window.
No, they just want... The critical thing for IG is that they're on the Dire side, so they're telling themselves, look guys, hold on, split push, maintain the game plan that we've been maintaining for the last 70 minutes, or I guess the last 60 minutes, hopefully get Roshan, and then that's our ticket to winning this game. That's the safety blanket for them.
I mean, the disclaimer there is that at 60, 70 minutes in, Roshan is actually less important in some sense. Like, I remember when he was here, he was like, dude, I've lost games because you'd pick up Aegis or Cheese late game and it wouldn't make a difference. Like, your carry, your core heroes can't actually make use of Aegis or Cheese right now. They need every item they have, so maybe someone like Mushi can carry an Aegis, but even in that last fight, it didn't really help him out at all, so... It's nice, like, from the 20 to 50 minute mark, but at some point, Aegis and Cheese just don't really matter that much. Like, the Cheese especially is just like it's a burst heal, but it's not going to really change a team fight, generally speaking.
Yeah, they do definitely fall off, especially now that we're getting to the point where heroes are just right-clicking one another down in, 5 or 6 auto attacks, just a couple of seconds. So it's all about the stuns, about the defensive disruptions, about the buybacks, about the BKBs. And I guess keeping track of all of that, we've got just the one buyback available right now. That's on YYF. There is a fresh 10-second BKB on Ferrari and a fresh 10-second BKB on Burning. An Abyssal Blade at this point could change the game. An RP can change the game. An Ethereal Blade can change the game.
Whoa.
And a pause.
That came out of nowhere. 75 minutes, not a single pause, and suddenly, bang. Mushi's like, What's going on? Just let's
Take a
theory
moment.
craft. I go to the toilet. Like, what's your deal here, Mushi?
My hands are cold.
Yep. Gotta go to the bathroom, warm up my hands.
In fairness, cold hands suck. Like, as much as we're taking
Yeah.
prods at EE.
It sucks, but it's not a legitimate reason to delay a game.
True.
I would say.
Okay.
I would argue. I
So
don't
we
know.
got the booths. Players are hands off keyboards. Everybody's like, what the hell is going on? What am I playing right now? Is this even Dota?
It's funny, like, you think most games where there's like a big pause that comes out, like, or like a timeout in sports, whatever it is, like you group up, you strategize, but the players are just like, let's use this pause to just relax, chill out. And it is
bathroom break.
It is a bathroom break. Mushi is getting up out of the booth. Ice is going with him. It's a bathroom break.
Sure, it's not a
75
mini
minutes.
lunch
They've had
break?
two very long games, so all right. This is interesting. I'm okay with the pause timing because it's like at a point where neither team is really in a strategic advantage. It's pretty much a stalemate right now. So
Everybody is far enough away from each other that you're not planning anything.
There's nothing you can. Yeah, there's no like real sneaky. Like, you can kind of talk like in theoreticals, like when we want to go for our next smoke gank, when's Roshan coming up. But this is just giving the teams a breather. Whew.
Okay, so who paused? So Mushi
viewers
so
out
IG
there,
moved their cameras.
However many viewers out there, if you need a restroom break, now's the time to go. I know you've been sitting there probably holding it in because of this game, but take your bathroom break. You've got maybe 2 minutes, maybe less.
So IG have the liberty of moving their camera around. They can see Burning. Burning's gonna realize that he doesn't have his passive at the moment, so he knows that IG can see him. Not a whole lot of wards on the map, only wards for IG right now, and it still just comes down to the fight. We are getting buybacks back up, so Ferrari has his available. Burning is only 44 seconds out.
Magnus
Ice
14
is still
gold.
a long way away.
Yeah. Magnus, Marana, as well as Lich almost have buyback, and even Shadow Demon. There's a lot of heroes just short on gold right now.
Yeah. Chen's probably not going to get another relevant item this game, just 1k for him. Ice is pretty much maxed out. Could maybe consider ditching probably needs a new BKB as the #1 priority. Then he might consider ditching the Necrobook for maybe something with a little bit of right click. Something on those lines. The Necrobook aura is actually really nice at this point in the game, so I don't even know if a right-clicking item would be significantly better than just having it. And Slark's pretty much maxed. Does still need BOTs and buyback to finish things out, but he's got that fresh BKB, so I don't know what else there is to...
Yeah.
Where does this game go from here, aside from
100 plus minutes, that's where it goes, Cameron.
100 plus minutes. We're
going the distance.
Okay, so this is where we talk about weird things that we noticed over the course of the game. If anybody knows how to translate DK's courier name, I've always wondered. I think somebody told me what it was before, but
IG have the little...
I'm gonna ask again. What do IG have? They've just got they've got Butch.
Oh, the MMY courier. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
MMY something. It's decked out. 1,000 kills, 98 victories.
Damn.
506 wards placed.
Not bad. Gotta put those. Couriers is one of the value places to put your gems, since you're if you're a support player, that is.
Use it every game. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
MMY. How? Oof.
I just want to sit back and just. Oh man, I'm like the players right now. I don't even want to. Like, you get a pause like this. In theory, you should be focusing on the game and talking, but like, I just want to be like the players and just sit back and just take in what's going on. 18 kills to 16, 75 minutes in, neither team ahead. The gold grab is dead even, which is more just a thing to laugh about because of the time stamp that we're at.
Okay, Mushi's back. Lanham is looking exhausted. I don't know if you're showing the player cam at the moment, but everybody's gonna settle back in. Okay. Hopefully feeling fresh, and back underway we go.
Alright, we're back in action here, as it looks like IG are gonna at least pressure down the mid lane. They know Slark's buyback is up in 25 seconds, but he does not actually have the money for it for some time. They're looking for these pickouts here. Burning close by a few enemy heroes, but not gonna get caught out, so IG, more offensive warding coming out.
I love this value wolf at this point in the game. Burning just has a little buddy chasing him around.
The Chen just leaves it right-clicked on Burning. He was doing this earlier on as well. Actually, no, the wolf. No, it's gonna be grouped up. He was doing this earlier on, like around the Roshan pit. I remember seeing he had just a wolf right-clicked on him.
30% bonus damage is no joke at this stage of the game, that's for sure. And the Chen's also got a Vlad's, so Lanham's positioning, both of himself and the creep, is pretty crucial for these fights.
Necrobook comes
also just
out.
for giving lifesteal to Burning as well.
Yeah, and right now, warding and just map control is going to make such a big difference, and that's where Necrobook is just going to be spammed, look to scout some wards. There is still an IG ward that snuck by undetected on top of the pub cliff.
The pub cliff?
The pub cliff. I don't know. What do we
Mount
call
Olympus.
This is the Nature's Prophet cliff, because of how many Nature's Prophets go cliff jungling here.
I think my group tried to start calling it Mount Olympus at one point, but that was about
Olympus.
it.
Yeah.
It's not that great. It's not really. It doesn't really fit that well, but I feel like you got to call it something cool.
I think it's the Nature's Prophet or the Furion cliff maybe.
The pub prophet cliff.
Yeah, I'm gonna from in my game I'm gonna call it the Furion cliff from now on.
Okay.
Gonna name places and locations from now. make our life easier.
We're gonna hold you to that, gods.
Okay. That's the Furion cliff.
Okay, there you go.
77 minutes in, Roshan respawn now, but we've already kind of. I mean, it's better than not having Aegis like on a support hero, but it's not going to necessarily be a game changer having Aegis and Cheese once you get to this stage of the game.
Does anybody have relevant levels to get? No, everybody's got above level 16, so everybody has their rank 3 ultimates.
Yeah.
Of course, stats are still nice, but
your support heroes, you're gonna an extra +2 stats through everything is not gonna make much of a difference, I don't think.
I survived 1/20th of a Morphling auto attack by being 1 level higher.
Maybe Morphling has to like right-click you that 1 extra time if you get lucky, but chances are that's not the case.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on it. What was that? Oh, that was mid. Okay. So DK gonna have to deal with the split push top, and that could probably open up Roshan for the taking for IG. And they may, like I said, they may as well take it at this stage. But we'll see how much of a difference it makes. I'd love to see Lure transition into like more of a late game carry at this point. The mech is nice and all, but you can sell that. You can get something that gives you some more late game damage output.
An easy shot.
But he does still need the buyback, and he does still need a lot of gold on top of that.
Yeah, I think he
may take the
Aegis. Looks like it.
Sells the mech and, well, at least one of the Aegis ulti.
Roshan has
Ferrari
gets
doesn't
the
want
Aegis.
it. That's for sure. He is set to his item build now. It's just buybacks and BKBs. That's
You need that casual sitting on your stash refresher up, like you buy back, you refresh your BKB, or your courier refresher. Courier Necro 3, so you can just split push with Necro 3s on your courier.
You have your courier with a Necro 3 and a Manta and Fresher Orb.
Yeah, or Manta Cell especially. Like you can siege and split push with that.
Only in Chinese Dota.
Hey, I can't remember who was doing it first. That's like an Eternal Envy thing.
I think Snaking did it at one point as well.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Oh, his
that also
Naga
sounds like
Yeah.
sounds like a Snaking thing to do as well.
Well, we'll see how many slots this Morphling can go. Right now, he's happy with just the 6. He has bought a second BKB, back up to 10 seconds. As YYF just going to keep on. He's got this, I love this, replica just always following YYF wherever he goes. Just in case he finds a pickoff.
Yeah. YYF does have a Hex up now as well as another 5.2k gold. So.
He can get a new BKB soon. That's actually quite important, I'd say. Considering he's down to 4 seconds. I mean, there's not that much magic and nuke damage or disables to worry about. It's like mostly the Invoker nukes. But it's still something worth getting nonetheless, because he's got nothing else to really replace.
And as the buyback status slowly becomes greener and greener.
Oh, man, 2 minutes ago this was fully red.
The teams consider taking a tentative poke towards the Rax.
Like, okay, it's 80 minutes, we haven't taken a Rax. I guess we should probably go for a Rax now, guys.
The tier 3 bottom lane is still on full HP. IG will approach their prey slowly, tentatively, poking their nose forward. Luo plants a Plague Ward.
I feel like I'm listening to Discovery Channel now as you're just like, the IG beast lurks.
IG,
wait.
moving close to the...
After university, you've got a future doing voiceovers for Discovery Channel, Cameron.
There we go. David Attenborough, watch your back.
You could be the next Steve Irwin, even. There we go.
There we go. There's a life in commentating. Maybe not just Dota.
Outside of esports as well.
So Ferrari's gonna continue hitting creeps. He's gonna buy a Manta style, so it looks like the Courier Manta operation is a go.
Yeah, it's. I guess. I mean, you got to spend it on something. Backup buyback's not really necessary. He should be buying all the wards and
backup buybacks.
Yeah.
So you have buyback, but you're also thinking about farming for your next buyback.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, even with the cooldown.
That is some forward planning.
Oh man.
Okay, so is he just gonna swap it in, use the Manta, get 2 auto attacks on the tier 3? Oh my lordy lord.
It looks like that. He has the Satanic on Courier. They need to buy a second Courier because there is some.
Bottom tower is under
they may
attack.
need this Courier for other purposes. So he gets a Manta style illusion. There's your seed. But it does lead into a disruption, which gets some morphing illusions for DK. So I think he's going to quickly realize, like, oh, this actually maybe doesn't help because giving Shadow Demon morphing illusion not the best idea. And now he's mid. He gets hexed up actually, but no follow up. 4-star down. These 4-stars are actually really important because that's the one thing. Those 4-stars on YYF and Faith, as well as the Ethereal Blade on your Venom, is what's going to keep morphing alive should he get hexed up.
Well, so both teams have taken turns in being the aggressor for the last little bit. I guess DK are feeling again that they tried to make their play. They went for that bottom push with buybacks available, and they were feeling really confident and. Mushi trying to make something happen. Arrow comes in.
BKB was used. That's a 4-second BKB, so it's actually not the end of the world. 50-second cooldown on that, and well, tier 1 mid tower may just need to be denied. We'll see. They're leaving it up for now. To be fair, I mean they're taking turns being the aggressor, but these teams' ideas of being the aggressor is we use that term quite loosely here.
Yes, definitely so.
And Ferrari is back to base. Has a replicate up near the mid lane once again on the Batrider. Is let's go.
Almost every buyback is available, gods.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. 82 minutes in with 10 buybacks online. That's my Chinese Dota. That's my jam.
Chinese Dota.
Yeah, let's go. Game 2 of a best of 7 as well.
And lunch, and dinner, and the way that this goes, it might be tomorrow's breakfast as well.
I woke up to cast these games. I was really grumpy because I thought everyone had eaten all our dinner and didn't leave me any. But then there was 3 tacos left for me, so I was like, yes, nice. I'm gonna be good.
Tacos acquired.
I'll last the rest of this cast.
More arrows. This is where a 5-second arrow could just change the game. Brennan gets forced out of his base.
That's
okay. Forces the Shadow Dance.
One of the morphing illusions got 4-staffed as well. That was a bit I'm not sure whose 4-staff is forcing who, but we've got IG still looking to pressure this high ground here. This Aegis is going to be expiring soon, surely. It's got 30 seconds left. That really goes to show how slowly IG have maneuvered with this. They've gotten a tier 3 tower. 4-staff in his Ferrari. Hexed up as well. Is he going to be burst down here? Doesn't have any way out of this one, but he gets left alone for the most part. No Magnus RP inside just yet. The second RP coming soon. He can't land it though. Mushi's just fake pumping right here. He gets 4-staff out of there. Now his BKB's worn off, and second RP is not going to come. Buyback from the M God, but his RP's on cooldown. He did end up using it. No RP. He whiffs at it. But it's a buyback. Batrider as well goes down, buys back as well. Twan getting low, pops the cheese to keep him alive, and now Venomancer going to pop the Aegis. Sunstrike catches up. Ferrari kills the Necro, but gets down to 300 HP. Careful, my son. As Venomancer going to get skewered back, but he's okay. The arrow actually called Burning, who does not have a Dark backed up, and Ferrari down to 150. I think it may be time to evacuate. Not worth just losing Morphling here. Well, he could say, actually, he's going to Satanic some neutrals. This is actually even a better plan. What?
The ranged Drax took 95 damage.
Oh my god, what a push. 95 damage. Woo! Get hyped.
There you go. So, overall, real trade. Double RP for the Aegis, I guess, though IG were really about to lose it.
2 buybacks were used, though.
Yeah. The second RP for Mushi only caught YYF on the very edge. He had a split second there where I think he had 3 heroes, potentially, but again, it's so hard to pull the trigger on these RPs at this stage of the game, so back we go.
Neither team can break. And that was like not even a like 3 for 3, 4 for 4 trade I was expecting where a bunch of buybacks would get used. It's still anyone's game. Chuan's picked up a Desolator for himself to help out with the pushing.
Boldly forfeits his buyback.
Yeah, I mean, at this point his buyback does not matter really.
No, it doesn't really. Well, a 5-second arrow, like we mentioned, could be absolutely game-changing.
It could matter, but the chance of it making a difference is very unlikely, whereas Desolator is like a more reliable item choice, because right now they're just trying to siege the enemy base, which the Desolate will help with. But
are DK carrying any anti-invis aside from this gem? If Lanham gets blown up and a Moonlight Shadow gets used, do DK have any recourse?
No, it doesn't look like. That's the other thing. You go 80, 90 minutes in a game, and detection and gem suddenly become like crucial. If you don't have one, and there's like you buy that like 80-minute Shadow Blade because your opponents have no detection, and suddenly you're like invincible.
Value Blade.
No. Heart of Tarask on your Batrider. Forgoes the Force Staff. Risky, like the Force Staff is really nice for the utility it provides. Obviously, Heart of Tarask, a much bigger and, in theory, better item, but it's still not necessarily gonna make be a better item in this game. We'll see.
Where's the Refresher Orb? Where's the double Lasso, double Hex, double Shiva, double BKB?
Yeah, I actually
it's one of the best late game items, honestly.
Yeah. Refresher Hex in the late game. I dig that. Veno's got an ultimate orb with 5.7k gold. I'm wondering, it's probably gonna just be a Scythe of Ice. We'll see. No pickup just yet of it. He doesn't have buyback if he buys it. Buyback at this point costs 23k gold. DK smoked up. They want to make a play here. They know Roshan's maybe respawned, and they're going to come in from the side. Mushi looking for an RP. He's got 2. He's going to catch out 3. First RP is on the point here. Are they going to get any kills off this? Burning's not really doing enough damage here. YYF just so goddamn tanky. He switches target onto the Venomancer. Venomancer still his ultimate, but wants to hit more than the Slark. Slark forces the Shadow Dance away. The arrow going to come in, finds him. He's got no Dark Pact as well. Burning's only got illusions. There's a defensive disruption. MMY will pay for it with his life. Burning gets hexed up after it. Still no Dark Pact. The Chain Frost comes through. Down will go Burning. Buyback used instantly from Slark as well as your Shadow Demon. Invoker gets TPs himself back home, and now Roshan can be claimed by IG. They do use a Lich buyback, and suddenly the buyback status goes much redder after a bloody engagement. And, well, gem on the ground, that's your IG gem. There is still that Chen gem online.
Arrow changing games.
Maybe you should have buyback. Oh, he doesn't need buyback. Chuan just doesn't die. He positioned himself well enough, it doesn't matter. And IG is scared? Are they actually? No, they can't be scared. They're going to see DK mid.
There's still 1 RP. There is still 1 RP available.
At the same time, Mushi doesn't want to refresh when his RP's up in 40 seconds.
No,
He'd rather wait it out. I think IG realize they're in the clear. They see Heroes mid. They don't see much beyond that, but they've also got Plague Ward scouting things out. So once again,
is this where Ferrari puts one of his items on his Manta Courier and takes the Aegis? I don't know. I don't think so.
Chuan maybe takes Aegis or Cheese. We'll see. Yeah, he leaps in.
Roshan has fallen to the dice.
Takes the Aegis as well.
Immortality.
Why not?
Okay, so we're not quite up to the point where Faith is stacking multiple cheeses, but he's gonna take one for himself, and back we go. So I guess summary of the fight: Burning buyback used, Lich buyback used, Shadow Demon buyback used, single RP used, but that's backup. So the only lasting effects are the Roshan and the buybacks.
So 4.5 minutes with these buybacks on cooldown, which is more important for IG, who have Aegis and Cheese. If they want to push and try break DK's base while there's no Slark buyback, it's going to come soon. Ice does have the late game refresher Aghanim Scepter, so watch out for his spell usage in these fights. He's even benched his Necrobook. The aura is nice and all, but I think he's decided he just needs as much spell usage as possible. He gets double BKB. He may actually buy a new BKB fairly soon. He goes back to the Necrobook, leaves the Blink Dagger at home.
Okay.
So undecisive is Ice right now. Decides he needs maximum damage output though. And this is where I even with the Aegis and Aegis and Cheese just don't matter. So I feel like you can't even say even with Aegis and Cheese. Like IG just can't really push high ground. Even with buybacks on cooldown on the Slark, they're just very apprehensive about pushing.
Stalemate Dota.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I feel like if you're Valve and you look at this game and say, well, we don't really want games that become stalemates, but like, I don't know what you do to prevent games kind of reaching this status. Both teams just don't want to lose. They're playing to win for the most part, but more than anything, they're playing not to lose right now. I've got Ben Merlini Wu here. Ben, any strategic input on this game? Ben's like, I'll take over from casting for like 2 minutes if I need a bathroom break myself.
Okay.
I'm good, thanks. Yeah. You may just need to bring like a bucket
Gotz
or
has
something.
honed his skills over years of Chinese Dota. This is what he was born for.
I don't know what happens next. I just can't see either team really. It's just whoever gets bored first, maybe? Is that what we're waiting for?
Do we have any other like StarCraft rules where if we have a stalemate for long enough, they ask the teams if they
Normally, I think with StarCraft, it's like one player can suggest a draw, and the other player agrees, then it's a draw. But
yeah,
at this point, you played 90 minutes. Would you want to draw? I think if you're IG, maybe you're okay with it because you're already up 1-0. But DK's like, well, actually, no. I think DK is actually in the worst position. But like, I would give IG. I don't know. It's a stalemate, but I think IG have like a 60-40 advantage. Maybe even slightly more. I think they have an advantage, but they don't have a big enough advantage such that they can ever break the base unless they pull off a hell of a team fight.
I mean, the question is, if you have an advantage in this, at this point, it's because the team fight is more winnable for you than it is for the other team. And the question of, is the team fight better off for one team or the other, I think is ridiculously difficult to answer at this point. And it's all down to somebody messing up. Like, or again, these little things that could change everything. Well, not even little things, but, you know, big RPs, big invoker plays, big arrows, big disruptions, big ethereal blades.
Well, it's 91 minutes in, so it's time to pull out the donkey. Ferrari's brought out good old faithful with his Manta-style recipe. I have not seen a donkey curry in Pro Dota in a long time.
Well, there you go. This is the time.
He needs that refresh orb as well. He can actually buy a refresher and still buyback. Refresh your BKB, refresh your Manta style.
What is the longest game in competitive Dota history again? It's like 120 or something, is it?
There was this frag bike game which didn't actually get casted.
The longest casted game.
The one that got casted was in the TI qualifiers. The one that...
Oh yeah, that was the poor high ground TV guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like 112 maybe?
They got stuck with all of the longest games.
Yes. I think it was like 110 to 112. Brutal. And then the one in Fragbite was like 120-ish.
Okay. Well, we're on track.
This is deja vu, man. This is like TI all over again. DK. Playing 100+ minute game. Well, that wasn't 100 minutes, but very close.
Morphling, 100+ minute games. Yeah. Magnus. This is very TI-esque.
So... I mean, there's no more item pickups coming the way of the Radiant team right now. Similar story for the Dire side. Everyone's maxed out. Like, where do you go from... The one hero who could actually get more farmed is Chuan, because he's a support who is playing theoretically a carry hero. So Chuan could get more farmed and get like a 5-6 slotted Mirana if this goes long enough, but we'll see what the plan's going to be. IG, Invis down the mid lane. They have vision of this as well. They've got the Observer Ward up there. It's being pinged out. They want to try
Burning knows that he's been seen.
Yeah, he backs off. There's going to be a disruption. Blink out as well. Nicely played from Mamaya as he gets himself out of danger there with the blink out. That was risky. That was very, very close. You lose that Shadow Demon and you lose a lot of your teamfight presence. Well, not so much teamfight presence, but a very useful hero to the teamfight breakout.
The Chenin Invoker creeps. Right. Dealing with top lane. Ferrari's going to TP out. Does have a replicate ready to go, so...
Yeah. And Invoker, swapping out his items, summons the Necrobook, stops, TP's back, picks up the Blink Dagger. So, not just the Morphling who's swapping out items at this stage of the game.
Invisibility.
And the buyback status is almost all green again. All is right with the world.
Buyback, boys, let's go. Mirana just 80 gold short, and then you just got you... These two Radiant supports haven't had buyback at many stages of this game, so...
No.
Alright. Well, we almost had a fight there. I'm pleased. We almost had a fight. That's a change of pace.
Yeah. So DK have started carrying around this gem on Mushi, I think rightfully realizing, as we were talking about earlier, that Moonlight Shadow could actually win IG the game at this point. And look, even the lowliest pub knows to carry anti-invis against Moonlight Shadow, so DK are on board. They could pick up some more on Lanham as well, but looks like he's just... He doesn't have a heck of a lot going for him right
Morphling has reached 1,000 plus last hits. Slack up to 900 plus. And looking at some of these kill-death ratios, we've got 12 and 3 Morphling, 10 and 6 Slack. It's going the distance here, this game, and Faith is like, let's camp out, let's preemptively scout Roche, camp it out.
It's time for me to pull up that Dota and start doing some stats.
Yep. Alright, well, IG, they're going to go for another Invis in. They may. Burning, careful. Blinker's nearby for a Batrider, but he gets 4-staff in Blink there as well. He's not going to find Burning immediately. Darkpad gets off a Hex as well, and Burning turns this one around. He goes on YWF, who gets purged up as well. As they pops a BKB, actually gets purged up after I said that. The Tornado going to look to help disengage. As seems DK do not want to hang around. They're happy with forcing out a... Well, you force out a Batrider BKB, but that's a 4-second BKB, so that's not really any victory whatsoever. And again, Ice is top with Necro Books and Forged Spirits. TP's himself home. Hasn't swapped over to the Blink Dagger just yet. Actually going to keep the Necro Book for now. Lamb's got an Alpha Wolf still. That plus 30% attack damage.
Yep.
Alright. Putting you on the spot. Who wins this game, Cameron?
Who wins this game?
Yep.
In Mushi and Ice we trust. I give at least one of them a good chance of making some huge controlling plays in these team fights between potentially double tornado, double deafening, double RP. I think that's a lot of the reason why IG is so tentative. I don't know. I think I favor DK, but that's because you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah,
I don't know if this game is possible. Well, maybe you can call this game, but if you said you can call this game and you did it, I would just call it luck.
No, I think this game's impossible to call, but it's more what does your gut tell you, and I think that's a good answer. So
well, I'm a DK fanboy as well, right? Self-admitted. Yeah, so there you go.
Anything that influences is fine. So DK just scouting everything out. Tornado just over trees to see if there's anyone there trying to hide and split push. So. IG smoked up near the Roshan pit, knowing that Roshan respawning soon. Not that Roshan matters, as we've said. Instant cheese is not a deciding factor in this game right now. The one hero who would like it is Mushi. Ooh, smoke into the high ground. Fro going to reveal something. Who does he actually see here? Mushi going to pop around the corner, blinks himself out of there, burning now. Pounces away. They disengage for the most part here. Definitely Blast being used as well as the Hand of God from the Chan. And DK full retreat for now. They're being chased after. BKB Venomancer is going to catch out MMY. Self-destruction. He's going to be set up for just himself going down here. The Chain Frost's going to bounce through. Burning's been hexed up. I think Burning's done for. He gets burst down by the Morphling. Shadow Demon as well hits the deck. Morph has a buyback. Shadow Demon does not. Chases on. Over on the side here. Uh-oh. Magnus? Oh, he's sent home by the Chen. Lamb sacrifices possibly himself. Can he get the TP out? Arrow needs to be dodged. Does do so. The TP's there as well. There's nothing to cancel this. Oh, man. Just Shadow Demon dying. Well, I guess you're Slack as well who buys back, but that's as good a fight IG can hope for. What? I'm following a Venomancer attack animation across. Well, kind of. I was trying to. It was like there was a Venomancer attack animation taking up half my screen. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
crazy stuff happens when you reach 98 minutes into the game.
I just saw it fly off on the Chinese stream. So
yeah.
There you go.
It was huge. It was beautiful. It was like a UFO spotting. It's like I just didn't believe what I was seeing.
So Chuan is picking up some more right-click items. He's got a cheese in hand. Luo has a hex. 4-second BKB. BKB status overall: 4-second on Batrider, 9-second on your Morphling, 8-second on your Slark, 4-second on your Magnus. So it's pretty much either max duration or minimum duration. All right.
Well, Mionia picked up for Ice. That's a cool little item to have here. He's got his Refresher combo ready to go. Staying with a Deafening Blast, going to completely whiff it. As Raxes are being focused down, throws a Tornado next. What's it going to be? Ice goes with BKB. The lasso is not there, gets immediately dealt with. As DK going to deal with this push pretty well. The Chain Frost is going to start bouncing. It's going to be disjointed. Mushi going to be forced back to the pound, which means the Raxes are exposed. Mid Raxes down. Our first Raxes of the game, claimed by IG, 99 minutes in. But at this stage, mid Raxes, yeah, it's one lane. 2 lanes, it's still like, no big deal. So IG need more than this. And with Slark's buyback on cooldown for 4 minutes, they need to go soon. You've got to go while Slark's buyback's on cooldown, but...
Okay, so I think last time Slark died, he was dead for 128 seconds, and he bought back. So the next respawn... is... I think the game even struggled to display how long the 128 below the Slark. So we'll see what happens the next time around. We're heading into uncharted territory, gods. One thing that
yeah, go ahead.
One thing that we didn't talk about, and somebody messaged me and pointed out, is that Mushi I think Mushi was trying for a Fountain Skewer with that send back on the bottom fight, which I believe still works.
Okay.
So
you got to time it absolutely perfectly, but
yeah. Well, I mean, if you get the double RP and then the Chen starts to send back, you can definitely get some shenanigans going on. But
we did it. 100 minutes.
Keep an eye out for it.
We're
okay. What's the? I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna go check exact records now.
All right.
Because
you're on that Dota duty, but IG now pushing forward with a push coming. Mirana's picked up an MKB to go with that Aegis. So Mirana suddenly not right-clicking hard, but definitely actually right-clicking for the first time in this game. As Ferrari's about to enter the 20k gold club. I actually saw this for the first time myself, like I think it was during the qualifiers one game. I've seen 5-digit gold a lot of times. 20k plus, almost unheard of. As he's going to be pushing the high ground. Manta Style is there, and Slark still without buyback, so this is really tough for DK to defend. Slark getting jumped is just the end of them almost.
Yeah, Ferrari is number 3 all-time on last hits.
Wow.
At the moment.
YYF looking for a lasso here. They're just sieging this tower, and the problem is they can't really have Slark in the front lines too much. They get an arrow on Mushi. Defensive disruption is there. He's going to try to get a BKB off. He gets a chance to. Mushi pops his BKB. RP #1 catches just Ferrari, but that's a good kill on the Morphling. He's going to buy back and come back into this one. Chainfrost still bouncing around. Burning maybe in some trouble here. He's been hexed up. Burning the B-God. He's been lassoed as well. The Slark has got no way out. He gets burst down as well. Second RP comes just on the Ferrari. They've got to kill him with the Invoker, but Invoker's got no spells left. Ghost walks himself back home. Slark is dead. Shadow Demon's dead. Rax's bottom going to go down, and suddenly DK running out of options. We may just see IG go for the juggler. They're going to avoid the throne. They're actually swinging towards top lane. Ice 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 has got to come up big here. What's he going to do? Chuan just focusing down the tier 4s. The Hex comes out on Ice Ice Ice. Can they lasso? 25 seconds still away. Lua gets a nice 2-hero Gale off. Mushi slowed up. Heading back to base here. It's a buyback from your Invoker. Tornado to lead things off. And it's GG. IG are leading the Grand Finals 2-0 after a 102-minute match. What a series so far, Basecamp.
Victory.
Just ridiculous donut. Like, very nicely played by both teams. Execution was good. Final fight. Well, they knew exactly what they needed to do. They needed to stop Mushi, and they did it. So there you go. IG leading, and so far a repeat blow for blow of the last best of 7. So we'll see if DK can start to get the turnaround going.
Ridiculous Dota just sums it up perfectly. It doesn't getting to a point where it just doesn't even feel like the normal Dota you get to watch and see. This is just crazy games between these two teams. DK now trailing 0-2. They've been in this position before in this very tournament. Back to Season 1 when they were down 0-3 and turned it around. Guys, we need a much-needed break. It's been a long 2 games, and we've got possibly at least 2 more, and I imagine DK are going to be looking to bounce back, take some games for themselves. Big thanks for tuning in to the WPC Grand Finals. I'm Gods from Beyond the Summit. Joining me is Basecamp. We've got Game 3 coming up. There'll be probably about a 5-10 minute break as the players and teams need to rest themselves, as well as us casters. So stick around. WPC Grand Finals continues shortly.